Please take your seats. The meeting is about to begin. Remember to speak into the microphone, as this meeting is being recorded for public record. Please stand by. We are going on air in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the July 9th DRB meeting. We start with the attendance.
Alrighty, good morning, everybody. I'm going to do a roll call. Mr. Meshberg?
Here.
Ms. Butagavoli?
Here.
Mr. Acion?
Here.
Mr. Lester?
Here.
Ms. Lewin?
Here.
Ms. Mindich is absent. Mr. Pais?
Here.
We have 6 of 7 members present. We do have a quorum.
Right. Are there any updates from the city?
No updates from the city attorney. Good morning. Today's meeting of the Design Review Board is being conducted in a hybrid format with the quorum of the board physically present in the commission chambers at Miami Beach City Hall and applicants, staff, members of the public appearing either in person or virtually via Zoom. Those wishing to participate via Zoom may dial the toll-free number, which is 888-475-4499, and enter the webinar ID, which is 822-7394-1924#, or log into the Zoom app and enter the webinar ID, which again is 822-7394-1924. Individuals wishing to speak must click the raise hand icon if using Zoom, or dial *9 if participating by phone. Before I swear in those who are testifying, I'm going to read into the record the city's notice regarding lobbyist registration. If you are appearing on behalf of a business, a corporation, or another person, including as an architect, attorney, or representative of an applicant or an objector, you need to register as a lobbyist with the city clerk's office before addressing the board. You do not have to register if you are speaking only on behalf of yourself, you are testifying as an expert witness, providing only scientific, technical, or other specialized information, or you are appearing as a representative of a neighborhood association without compensation to express support for or opposition to an item. Expert witnesses and representatives of neighborhood associations shall, prior to appearing, disclose in writing to the city clerk their name, address, and the principal on whose behalf they are communicating. These rules apply whether you are appearing in favor of or against an item, or encouraging or arguing against its passage, defeat, modification, or continuance. I will now swear in everyone who is physically present in chambers and intends to testify. Virtual speakers will be sworn in one by one before addressing the board. If you will be testifying, please raise your right hand. Do you swear that the testimony you will be giving is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's approve the minutes from the last meeting.
Okay, do we have a motion and a second?
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Motion by Ms. Butagavoli.
I'll second.
Mr. Chair. Given that this is a hybrid format meeting, I'd like to show for the record that I was on Zoom last time, even though I was not present physically. For Zoom, I was.
We can add a note that you were present via Zoom, but just for the purposes of the meeting, you have to be in person. Okay, we'll add a note.
So with that friendly amendment, I ask the co-sponsors to accept the friendly amendment.
Is the sponsor and chair okay?
Yes.
I mean, in a second? Yeah,
That's
okay.
fine.
Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion passes.
Okay, do we have any other business?
We do have one quick discussion. The September meeting, we've been informed that we will have to move the date of the September meeting, so it would be good if we decide what date to move it to in case any items have to be continued. I sent out some dates yesterday that the chambers are available September 2nd, 4th, and 11th. I did say 7th, but that is Labor Day, so that date will actually not be available. So if there's a preference on the board for September 2nd, 4th, or 11th for scheduling the September meeting. Fourth is okay for me. Yeah. Any of those dates? September 4th?
4th?
Yeah.
Good for everybody?
Okay. So if everybody's okay, well, that'll be Friday, September 4th.
Given that it's changing, if you're absent, does that count against you?
We have said that since it's not a regularly scheduled meeting, it doesn't count as part of the allowed absences. So I think you're allowed 2 absences a year. If that's not a regularly scheduled meeting, we don't
Because
penalize you.
That might be the case with me. I may not be
Okay,
available that week.
okay,
And I already have 2 absences, so I don't, I was
Mm-hmm.
really planning on it to be the following.
the following Thursday, yeah, understood.
So that's why I chose that week, so.
Please speak into the microphone.
Could you please turn?
At this point, I may have to, be absent that week. Well, I don't know. It's up to you guys. I don't want to, nobody said the 11th, I know, the option was the 11th, but everybody said for the 4th, so I just asked with regards to the 4th.
I can do the 11th.
Okay, well, I could do the 11th, for sure.
Fine with me.
Okay. 11th is okay, Mr. Chair?
Thank you,
Yeah,
Mr. Lester.
it's the beginning of the Rosh Hashanah, so I think that's okay.
Yeah, it starts at sundown, would be when no work is allowed.
Yeah, I think that works okay, too.
Okay,
Okay,
September 11th.
Thank you.
So if any items are continued to the September
you-
meeting, they will be continued to September 11th. Okay, thank you very much. And we can proceed to the new applications if you like.
Okay, let's begin.
Or the continued applications. Okay, so the first one would be DRB 24-1061, that's 1414 Alton Road. If you can.
This application has been filed for the construction of a new 2-story financial institution with drive-through lanes, including variances to eliminate the requirement for a designated loading space and increasing the.
I apologize. We had 2 items that are under request for continuance, if we can vote on
Go
those.
first.
I apologize.
Ocean and Byron.
Yes. Just real quick, Ocean, they would like that's DRB 25-1146, they would like for the continuance to the October 8th, 2026 meeting. They're making some revisions to the plans, and the applicant has requested that continuance. If anybody has any questions or motion to continue?
Any public comment on the item? On Zoom or otherwise?
Can I be added as a presenter on Zoom?
Why didn't they take comments and
Or panelist?
we don't take one and everything?
No hands are raised on Zoom.
I'll second it.
Okay. Motion by Mr. Lester, second by Mr. Paz. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No, motion passes. Okay, the next one is 7928 Byron Avenue. That's an application that was before the board last month. The board requested some changes and that the item be continued to this meeting. The applicant has since changed the architect, so they need some additional time to make modifications. So they've requested a continuance to the September meeting, and so that would be the September 11th meeting.
Make a motion to defer to September meeting, the 7928 Byron Avenue.
Okay, we have a motion to continue to September 11th by Ms. Butagavoli. Oh, sorry, any public comment on this item? I don't see any hands raised.
Second.
Okay. Motion by Ms. Butagavoli, second by Mr. Paz. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Nope, motion passes. Okay, now we can proceed to the continued items.
Okay. This file, DRB 24-1061, 1414 Alton Road. This application has been filed for the construction of a new 2-story financial institution with drive-through lanes, including variances to eliminate the requirement for designated loading space and increase the allowable size for detached sign, including 1 or more waivers to replace an existing single-story financial institution with drive-through lanes.
Okay, so just one clarification, the title indicated that this was a two-story financial institution that was being proposed. It's actually since been scaled down, it's a one-story financial institution. This application is on Alton Road, it's in the CD2 Medium Intensity Commercial District. It's a 30,000 square foot lot. The applicant is proposing a building with a small footprint, 0.17 FAR, it's a 4,955 square foot building. The applicant could build a 60,000 square foot building on this site. So they're building a small building. It has a height of 22 feet. The applicant is requesting a couple of waivers and 2 variances, and so I'll describe what those are about. Initially, the bank is proposing to replace the existing Bank of America that's on the site. It was built in 1974. It's not the most attractive building that's currently there. It has 5 drive-through lanes that exit out onto Alton Road, so it creates a very unsafe situation if you're a pedestrian there with these 5 lanes of traffic. The sidewalk there is tilted, so it's not a very comfortable situation if you're a pedestrian. So the applicant is proposing significant improvements to the site. They will be eliminating all driveways onto Alton Road, so there will be a continuous sidewalk along Alton Road. They will be proposing to keep the existing office building of the bank while this new building is under construction. So the new building will be built on the south portion of the lot. The new building will have windows fronting Alton Road, so it'll be far more aesthetically pleasing. It'll have a white brick facade, which is a high-quality material that they're going to be proposing along the facade. And then additionally, they're going to be proposing a mural along Alton Road and along the side of their facade that faces their surface parking lot. The mural exceeds 100 square feet, so it will require City Commission approval prior to them being able to actually paint the mural. The mural was designed by artist Kennedy Ngaga, and it will consist of colorful geometric shapes, and it does provide a significant enhancement for that facade, and staff is supportive of that mural. The surface parking lot will also have 2 drive-through ATM lanes. They're going to be entered from the rear of the lot in the alley along Alton Court. And so then they will exit back onto Alton Court, so there's minimal, so there's no impact to Alton Road itself. Pedestrians will have a clear way to walk down Alton Road. The applicant is requesting a waiver of the frontage standards for the landscaping of the clear pedestrian path. The site is an interior lot. The code requires that they raise their sidewalk to the future Crown of Road elevation. Because it is an interior lot, they have to have ramping down to the adjacent lots that are far lower. So that creates a situation where the sidewalks have to ramp up significantly, and so that impacts where they can locate the landscaping. The code requires that the landscaping be located between the parallel parking and the sidewalk. They're having to move some of the trees behind the sidewalk in order to allow for that ramping to take place. Staff is not opposed to the waiver being granted because it really, there's no other option for them, given that they have to raise the sidewalk and they have to ramp down. Additionally, the applicant is requesting 2 variances. The first variance is for the off-street loading requirement. The code requires that they have 1 loading space. The applicant has indicated that they have very little loading that is required for a bank. The loading that is needed can happen in their standard parking spaces, or alternatively, they can, if on the rare situation that they need a larger truck than what can use a standard parking space, they can accommodate the loading on Alton Court in the alley. So they don't really have a need to provide a formal loading area that would limit their parking, their surface parking. They currently are providing more surface parking than is required by the code. So really taking some of that away to provide a loading space really doesn't benefit the project, and it does present a practical difficulty to the applicant and a hardship to the applicant, so staff is supportive of the granting of the variance. The other variance is related to signage. In order to screen their parking, they have an architectural screen along Alton Road, so that blocks views into the surface parking lot. creating an improved urban condition. And also that screen has landscaping in front of it to really beautify the walk. So as a pedestrian, you're going to be looking at something that's much nicer than the 5 driveway lanes and a building that basically has no windows. So it's going to improve the aesthetic condition for them. The applicant has requested a variance to provide a sign on that architectural screen. The code limits the sign to 15 square feet if it's a detached sign on a wall. The applicant has requested a variance to allow for the sign to be 18.3 feet. So it's essentially just over 3 feet, the variance that they're requesting. It's a minimal variance, but it does make for a sign that fits that architectural screen much better, really doesn't increase the visual clutter, and provides improved visibility given that this is a high-traffic roadway. So staff is supportive of the granting of the variance. So with that, staff recommends that the application be approved, including the 2 variances and the waiver.
As always, Mr. Madan has stolen our thunder with this wonderful distillation of the project. And of course, we're going to spend 10 minutes talking about the exact same stuff. Good morning, Graham, Penn, Burke, Howardell, Fernandez, Larkin, Tapenis, 200 South Biscayne Boulevard. I did want to compliment Mr. Madan on his knowledge of the rules of Jewish holidays as well. That was very
I'm a quarter
impressive.
Cuban.
As Rogelio explained, I'm joined to my left by Mr. Christopher Cox from Gensler. We also have Richard Hernandez, our engineer, Carlos Markovich from my office. I'm going to take you through the intros quickly, turn it over to Chris, and then we'll open ourselves up for any questions. As Rogelio explained, this project will bring significant improvements to this site from an operational point of view, from an aesthetic point of view, and most importantly, from a relationship with the public sphere point of view. This will be the most significant pedestrian improvement we could possibly imagine on this property, which is removing any vehicular access. So if we could put the slides up, I'll take you through the intro. What you can also see, of course, is the beautiful mural that we're proposing, which will be a mosaic, which will be, again, bringing public art right to the pedestrian realm on Alton Road. So just a brief intro where we are. There's the existing Bank of America branch. It's no stranger to anyone. It's right across the street from the CVS on 14th. And then you can see right here from this aerial, again, the drive-throughs that are pointing like a cannon directly onto Alton Road. We are zone CD2. And just a couple more views looking at the single-story property. Building was built in 1974. The bank also owns the satellite parking lot to the west of the alley, and that will continue to be used as parking for the property. So you can see again the orientation of the building. We have the existing bank on the north, and then that gigantic wide, which is wider than the building, the drive-through assemblage there, which is very 1970s. Just a couple more views, and as Rogelio reminded us, there are no windows of the bank facing Alton Road right now. Again, a product of its time. This is just another highlight of the drive-through area and what that means from an aesthetic and a pedestrian point of view. That is 50 feet wide of a curb cut to accommodate those drive-throughs. So with that, let me turn it over to Chris to take you through the design. You know what, where are our stuff?
Oh, yeah.
While Chris is talking, I'm going to hand out our materials. We have the aforementioned brick, which will be the surfacing along Alton, and of course the paint color, so everyone can see.
Good morning, everybody. So I think we'll try to give visual to a lot of things Mr. Madan has clearly lined out verbally. What you're seeing here is the existing site plan. So as we've seen in the aerials to the south, we've got a very large multi-story, 4 or 5-story building. We've got the drive-through banking, and then we've got the existing building, the small 1-story to the north of the property. Alton Road's on the left or the right of the page on the east side, and then Alton Court is on the west side. An important part of this project, particularly for the owner, as a requirement, was to keep this branch open during construction. So we want to be clearly representing phasing throughout the construction process. So you've got a couple colors here. In blue is phase 1. So if you can imagine, phase 1, we're going to propose the removal of the drive-through. That's both paving and the connected canopy. That would allow the Phase 1 new construction of our new building in the blue again. That would allow the owner to, start phasing over from the yellow existing building to the new blue building. Phase 2 is the streetscape along Alton Road. So there we're going to be raising, we know that the Resilience Code of Miami is to raise the sidewalks and the future raising of the crown of the road. So Phase 2 brings the demolition of the existing streetscape, the installation of the new, and then finally in Phase 3 is the removal of the existing bank and then the adding of the remaining parking and drive-through ATMs. So this was a strategy that took a lot of time to get to, both on civil and architecture, to make sure that they could operate and maintain their customer base throughout the construction phase. Here is a graphic of the site plan. So if we can imagine, I'll kind of point out a couple of the key elements. The building in white is at the bottom of the page, so south. We are facing Alton Road, so we're bringing presence to Alton Road. We will be seeing some more on the art, but the first thing, the most important thing, is bringing that art and that vibrancy. I think it's the thing we're most excited about to the project. That's on the corner of our building, facing Alton Road, but also facing surface parking. The streetscape along Alton is also very important. It was a tricky piece to manage. We were connecting to the south to a low sidewalk elevation existing. We were connecting to the north to a low sidewalk elevation. So the site itself is ramping to kind of where the art is, right? Like to the highest point. We've got a series of ramps that are going to need to bring pedestrians from the crosswalk up to our site. But yeah, and then last, I think importantly, we are screening the drive-through and the parking with architectural walls and a layered landscape approach. Mr. Madan pointed out that there are also difficulties just weaving landscape through here. If you can imagine on the south, you see how we're connecting to our neighboring sidewalk closest to Alton Road, but we're bringing it further west to meet the landscape buffer, pedestrian pathway requirements, and then shifting back again to reconnect to our neighbors to the north. So it is a stitching of both the fabric that we're in, but also meeting, to the best of our abilities, the resilience code and goals of Miami Beach.
Chris, before we leave this drawing, I want to remind us we are doubling the amount of parking on the property with this plan versus what the status quo is.
Yeah. I'll try to start pointing it out with my finger, I know is kind of verbally describing. So here's our main facade. Again, this is looking from Alton Road to it. Here we're displaying on full display art, right? We're thinking about it as a strategy both for day and night, where we're lighting the art from above linearly. We've got a glass box on this facade that is the entrance. Our intention is to light it 24 hours, so at night that art is seen weaving from the exterior facade into the building and creating just a vibrancy for this corner. I think you're also seeing a number of the elements that we were talking about on the site, which is ramping as to the best of an ADA compliant slope to this point. You're also seeing which is our ramp kind of getting up to the bank's main entry, and then a secondary ramp. This is a section outlining some of those elevations and strategies where Alton Road is currently very low. Being cognizant of the 5.8 future crown of the road goals of Miami Beach, and then getting our building up to design flood elevation compliant with the Resilience Code. So a little bit about the artist. Kennedy Ngango is an artist from Africa. He had a tragic accident and found his footing largely in Miami. So I think the story was important for the bank to have someone local. The art is geometric, it's colorful. We think it adds a lot to the vibrancy of the district and the goals of the district. And the realization of this art will be in small form tile mosaic. So I think that's also appropriate for the history of mosaics in Miami, and will be a really beautiful add to the streetscape. This is a graphic representing where we intend to apply it. So the images in blue are representing another example of a tile mosaic. It's not, in fact, color representation, but you're seeing small format tile mosaics at a zoomed in scale. You're seeing the larger here. And then in the plan graphic in red, you're seeing the outline of where we're intending to do it. So Alton Road is where my hand is. turning into the building, and then turning out to the building. The interior of the project is, it's representing modern banking. The removal of drive-through teller service is no longer part of their business. We have, as you've seen in the site plan, drive-through ATMs. The plan is very open and facing Alton Road with the glass box that we talked about in the artwork. You kind of enter under the artwork and get into their main lobby. Tellers will be at the back, and then you can meet your private banking or consultants kind of in a series of offices. Pretty simple interior plan. We'll get into some of the detailed elevations. This is a full view of Alton Road looking towards the property. This is a good representation of us connecting to our neighbors at the low points, bringing ourselves up to a compliant slope, and then getting up to the building itself. And then the glass box representing, that's the main entry here. Materiality, so here is again Alton Road elevation. You're seeing premium materials facing Alton Road. So from left to right, we're brick is this hatch that you're seeing. I think Graham's kind of placed that on your table. But we are taking that brick, turning it 20 feet around the corner to the hidden facade. We're wrapping it around the corner to the bank surface parking lot, and then we have our tile mosaic and curtain wall product, which will be in the main facade. It's represented a bit opaque. You can imagine that is going to be glass, and our intent is to keep that open and transparent and light it from behind to get visual view into the property or into the building and the art. This is from the north, so this is from the flat lot, looking as, if you were parking and coming to the facility. The facade will be visible partially from the corner, but most of this facade will be for, visible to banking customers. Left to right, this is the main entry, the stairs that we've been seeing in all the images. The tile mosaic is continuing, the brick facade's wrapping around, and then windows in the offices and a painted stucco on the parking lot side. This is Alton Court, so this is the back view, if you will. This is kind of continuation of stucco and paint, and this is an employee-only entry and exit. Last, I call this one the buried facade, so this would be the south, which is adjacent to the largest building. Here we're taking Alton Road to the right. We're wrapping the premium, the brick material around the corner to make sure that that's always visible from Alton Road. You're not seeing the stucco finish. And then in the buried facade, we're using stucco, painted stucco. This is a bit redundant, but this is the specific labeling of what I've all described here verbally. And then a couple views. So this would be heading south to north of the building, managing the elevation changes with stepped landscape. Mr. Madan talked about, our street trees at one point are closer to the building, then they jog to the landscape barriers and they jog back. This is a view from the north on Alton Road heading south. So in this view, I think it's important to see the design of the screen walls, where the screen walls design is cognizant of the current level of the road, but also the future crown of the road at 5.8, so that we're able to screen the ATM and the drive-through aspect, and then also create kind of layers of landscape. So it's a tiered shrubs, and then it's the green buttonwood trees. I think an important note here too is at the crosswalk is where we landed our ramp, but also the sign, which is part of the variance, is located here. So if someone with an accessibility need, I think it gives a bit of wayfinding additionally to find the bank. So if you're on the sidewalk, you might get confused, but we think that adds a little wayfinding to get to the building and for an accessible customer.
Chris, before you leave the wall, can you talk about the materials associated with the wall?
Yes, the wall is, it'll be vertical CMU. We'll have lights, which we'll look at it in a night shot, and then it's stucco, painted stucco in the sign. This is a view from the flat lot. Like this might be how you enter the property either by car and park. And then last here is an image of the screen walls at night. So there is a lit element. These screen walls are separated by approximately a foot. vertical light between those. I think a important note that this rendering probably represents the light overexposed in a certain area. The intent is these lights are asymmetrically wall washing, so kind of just gently grazing the face of the wall, and not, it's not intent to be like a blast of light in a single location. It's a linear graze of the wall. Okay.
Okay, so yeah, let me briefly touch, I know we've gone over our time, I'll briefly touch on the two variances that Rogelio again explained very well. We're requesting to waive the need for loading space given the nature of the use, and we have a very minor increase in that detached wall sign. The overall signage on Alton Road basically is, our building itself would allow 56 square feet, and so we are under that with the combo of the two, or there, or near about. My math is terrible, or about right on the line. So with that, that's everyone's favorite slide, as I always say. We're here for any questions you may have. Again, we're very excited about the improvement to this site, to the operation of the bank, to the aesthetics of the bank, and to the improvement to the pedestrian realm that's long overdue in this portion of Alton Road. So we're here for any questions you may have, and I'd like to reserve time for rebuttal.
Thank you. Do we have any disclosures before we do public comment? I met on the site with the legal team yesterday. We walked the site. Okay. Any disclosures? No. Okay, let's open to the public.
All right, anybody online who'd like to speak, please raise your hand. Nobody online? Anybody in the chambers who'd like to speak?
We're back.
Okay, I think we can close the public hearing.
Going up to the board. Thank you again.
Thank you, beautiful presentation. Building looks awesome, looks great. Quick question, the separation between the property to the south and the bank is, what does that walkway look like there? Also, I wanted to mention that lighting on the fence that you touched on, that rendering doesn't do it justice, I'm guessing, because it just looks off.
You saying the night rendering?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's I would call it overexposed. The intent of the light is to be a linear wash of the wall.
yeah, it doesn't give it that image, but
Yeah, I think the image is not accurately representing the linear throw of that light.
right. And my third question is, the lots to the west, I saw by the tax roll that Bank of America owns 2 lots on the other side of the alley.
Yes.
Is that used for temporary parking? Is there a future idea for those lots? What's the idea? Because obviously it should be kind of like part of it.
It is satellite parking for the bank now, and it will be satellite parking for the revised bank. So there's no proposal to develop it right now.
Got it. And there's no touching up or doing anything to it to,
I mean, it's not within the scope of this application, but we are still using it for parking. I mean, the bank is not proposing to alter it in any way right now.
got it, okay.
Yeah, so to answer your question, you're talking about the small space between these two buildings, kind of put my hand here? Yeah. So the intent is, we're keeping currently an existing screw pine landscape-wise. We're trying to plant essentially like a barrier to keep this area safe. And then we're lighting this at night on this side. So it's not an intended like site occupiable area, and our intent is to keep it safe and to provide plantings all on the road that would prevent someone coming through.
One question.
Mr. Lester.
Is there a reason why you went from a 2-story building down to 1-story? This cost, I assume, or budget?
I think it was the bank's decision that they found the 1-story was more appropriate for them at this time. I think it was just how many banking associates they need and what they saw appropriate for the flow of traffic here.
Yeah, I just really don't like seeing surface parking lots in a dense mixed-use zoned area that could have housing above it or any type of other type of use for a 1-story building that's more suburban looking than, I don't think, an urban area. Like Alton right here. I'm not sure, have you guys considered doing a mixed-use building that has housing or any type of use that could be,
The bank hasn't considered that, to my knowledge.
would they consider using, putting any other use for that?
I think their intended use is what they're presenting here today. I think their intent is to serve their client base here in Miami Beach.
Yeah, it's just a prime commercial spot location. I just think a one-story suburban building or a mixed-use property could be a lot more useful for the community than just, you know, it's their project, their land, they can decide what they want to do with it, but I think just for the community in a whole, it would be much more beneficial for the city if it was a dense, most people don't like more density in the area, but I think it's here, this location would be better, a dense project, but that's just my personal opinion.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. I like this new building. I think it fits the style of sort of more Art Deco, but it's also modern at the same time. So I like the design a lot. The wall screening, I think, is a great idea, because like Akil, I don't love service parking lots that much. But I do think that at least, you know, brings a better pedestrian experience, as good as you can get on Alton. But I guess I'm looking at the wall. I don't know, it kind of seems like a little bare to me, and maybe when the landscaping comes to maturity, it wouldn't be as big of a deal, but I don't know, to me it looks a little barren. I don't know if has there been consideration about potentially maybe bringing that art mosaic that's on the main building, just maybe pieces of that on the wall? That might just bring more interest to an otherwise bare wall. So that's something I would suggest looking into.
I think you bring up a good point, which is the landscape, and it's hard to represent often the landscape in these renderings, but the landscape is quite robust. We've got several layers of both shrubs and trees, the green buttonwoods in front of this. I think you can kind of see in the elevation that I've got on the screen now that the wall less the location where you will enter the ramp will be quite landscaped. And I think that's both on day one, just on like how many plants that we're planting, but over time it will become a landscaped elevation.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. It's just like a series of white walls for quite like half of your project. Just bringing some visual interest there. I would ask that maybe you consider that with your artist to, you don't have to mosaic the whole wall, but maybe there's just moments of that throughout. I think that would go a long way. I have no issue with the variances you're seeking. I think that the size of the sign is appropriate, like you said, for somebody entering through the ramp, that just given the length of the lot, it's needed. So yeah, thank you. Overall, beautiful project.
Thank you.
I like the fact that double lane parking. Parking is always an issue here. Just curious, the phases, timelines?
That's Mr. Cox's question.
Yeah, I don't know if we have a definitive timeline as to the length of this. It is going to be some time because we're talking about the demolition, construction of a new facade, and then several phases. I'd have to get with, I think, the owner to be committal on like actual specifics on that. But as you can imagine, it's going to be over a typical, one-story construction timeline.
Yeah, it just seems that like the project has been needed for a long time, and it's been in the process for a long time as well. So that's why I'm curious to see a timeline. And I would have to agree with my colleague on the variances. I don't object to the variances, but I would like to see some of that mosaic, as she stated before, as well. I think that it's a little bare, especially being just white out there. So I thought of the same thing. So that's my opinion.
Thank you, and congratulations to you and your group on the design. It's very beautiful.
Thank you.
So I have a few questions, and just to continue with the front wall and the landscaping in front of it, that maybe it incorporates some of the mosaic and maybe a little bit less landscaping so that the mosaic can be seen in certain spots. And I understand what you're saying. Once it's fully grown, you may not see that white wall at all. So if you do put mosaic in it, you obviously would have to cut down on the bushes and the shrubs that may be hiding it. As to my questions, there is a apartment building to the west of the site. And currently, the bank has ingress to the driveway for the tellers through the Alton Road Court. Am I correct in that?
Correct.
But they don't have exit. Exit is through Alton. So has there been any communication with the building, apartment building behind the site, now that there'll be entrance and exit through Alton Road Court behind their apartment building?
Well, Myra, there was, let's put, we can put up the aerial. Oh, thanks, guys, I see it. Right now, aside from the drive-through, right, the exit from the site is north on Alton Court anyway, right? So the only way you would be leaving, if you were gonna leave, say you parked in the normal parking, right, that's on the west of the building itself, you would likely just go north and leave, well, you can't go south because the court goes only north. So you would make a right and go north. So all those cars are still already leaving all that in, it's not changing that at all. And of course, any of the parking that's on the satellite lot's the same, that they will be going north through there. Some people go through the drive-through, but the vast majority of the traffic now goes through Alton Court anyway. But to answer your specific question, no, we have not done any specific outreach to that building. But in our opinion, this is an improvement for them as well, given the way that the operation is going to be improved and that the parking is being increased on the site, so there's less likelihood of people parking in the alley and of course the introduction of all the new landscaping, et cetera, that we're doing. But yeah, it's not really changing the orientation much at all, because most cars still go north and leave on Alton Court.
But they will be, currently there is entrance to the parking, forgetting the driveway, through Alton. In the future, it will only be through Alton Road Court.
Oh, no, let me be very clear. There's no way to get in on the property now from Alton Road.
Okay.
The drive-throughs are exit only, so you just have those 5 drive-throughs just pushing out.
Including parking, people that are just there for visiting the bank.
Yeah, I mean, if you can't, you can't get in here from anywhere but through west, from our parking lot on west. You can come through and obviously park on that satellite lot, or from Alton Court. So we're not changing the people entering the property. We're just removing the exit on Alton from all those drive-throughs.
And the apartment building is more towards the
North.
southern portion of the property?
Well, these guys are
North.
right, they're here. So we
Right.
have an apartment that's right at our northern tip. This is commercial, right, so.
But to the west of the property?
That's us, right? So,
So
yeah,
you're
it's
on
just
the
these
west
guys.
and, okay, because the memorandum says that there's an apartment building to the west.
Well, yeah,
So it
that's
could
true.
be the apartment building.
It's these guys.
Okay, all right. All right. Thank you. The other question I have, you are talking about raising the sidewalks because of future raising of Alton Road to the Crown being 5.8. I thought, and this is more of a question to the city, I thought Lower Alton, and Andres may know as well, he follows all this. I thought Lower Alton all the way to Michigan and maybe Chase Avenue had already been done by FDOT. And now they're proceeding with Middle Alton, which is from 41st, more or less, till 51st, 47th, whatever.
Future phase.
This is for well in the future. So the Alton Road was under construction, this part of Alton Road, probably 10 years ago at this point, 11, maybe 9, 10 years ago. And so that is complete, but there is plans in the very distant future to keep going up as needed, as sea level rise
So that may
continues to
be
affect the city.
in 2050 that
Correct,
we're
yeah,
talking about,
yeah.
because 2037 is when they're gearing Upper Alton, so. And I thought that they, at least with the other residential portions of Alton, they are saying they're not increasing the crown of the road, even though the city may have a desire for Alton to increase the crown. The FDOT is saying we do not increase the crown, even though we are increasing the storm sewer drains diameters. Okay, so you're basically following what the city is requesting,
Correct.
not what FDOT is requesting, which is the owner of the road.
Correct. So
Okay.
the city has standards that the frontage requirements require us to meet.
Okay,
The city standards require that certain roads, because they may be an evacuation road, be higher than what we would require in a residential road, and the crown of the road is also affected, the number that is chosen is affected by when the project is expected to go into construction. So if it's a project that's gonna be built 10 years in the future, their future crown of road number will be a higher number than something that's gonna be built within the next 2 years.
the other question I have, that one of your variances or waivers is for signage, and I don't have a problem with the size, I think it's acceptable to the entire building size. But I did notice there were 3 signs on the different plans that you showed, AO17, AO22, and AO23. One faces Alton, one faces the parking lot, and one faces, I believe, Alton Court. Does the code allow for 3 signs on one building?
Yes,
That does occupy 2 properties, basically?
The code allows you to have a sign on each facade. So they have one
Okay.
on the facade on
All
Alton,
right.
one facing the parking lot, and then you are allowed a detached sign as well. And so the variance is specifically for the detached sign that is going to be built put on that street screen.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else? Thank you very much for the presentation and the design. It seems like a lot of conversation about this screening wall. Do you happen to have a detail of the lighting that you can show us?
Not as part of this presentation, I don't.
Okay. Is it a concealed fixture? Because from the rendering, that was another thing I noticed initially is this something that's going to be shining into people's eyes as they're driving on the road south, or is it going to be indirect and just shining at the other wall so it gives it the glow?
Yeah. So I'll try to verbally describe it. If you can imagine these walls not as connected planes, but essentially overlapping planes, there will be approximately 1 foot gap between these walls, and there will be an overlap between these walls in the order of 1 foot also, where we will essentially conceal a linear light along the exposed vertical length of that. So I think as a pedestrian, if you're acutely looking through the passage, you may see a fixture, but the overlap will largely conceal the visual of the light. As relates to the light, the intent is that it's not like like some of these facades we see are just blasting light out. It is an asymmetrical wall wash, which is essentially a lensed fixture that is intended to throw light only on a vertical face. So the light will be aimed on the face of the wall, not the pedestrians or the roadway.
Okay, yeah, I just would have concerned if there wasn't a diffuser or something that it is affecting people driving and maybe distracting, so that was a concern. The ideas about bringing some of the mosaic onto these screening walls could be a nice idea just to sort of carry it through. I don't know how much of it, right? And
Just something to break up the monotony of a white wall. Maybe planting will do that.
And I looked at the planting, and they do have some robust, but maybe just, maybe the first panel is, the signage panel can stay plain, but then the mosaic is sort of teased a little bit through, right? It doesn't, not a full cladding of the.
Of the entire wall.
Yeah, but bringing a little color and sort of movement along the wall there and connecting the site. I think those are
I
nice
see it more as
suggestions.
movement. I could see it more as movement than color.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that's a nice suggestion if somebody wanted to make a motion on something like that.
So I make a motion that we accept, to approve DRB 24-1061-1414 Alton Road with the recommendation that you take into consideration the additional art towards the wall and the frontage of the property.
Just for the design.
This,
Take
so,
the variances separately.
yep, it's just for the, okay, so incorporate the mosaic that is currently proposed for the facade extended onto the street screen, subject to the approval of staff, so that we can, okay.
Correct.
From,
Subtly.
Subtly,
Subtly,
not a lot.
yeah.
Your motion, sorry.
No, yes, not a lot.
Yeah,
It's, you know,
I
we
think
leave it up
that
to
we
you
can
just to-
propose a subtle incorporation into particularly the early panels that may not be concealed by the landscape, and an homage to maybe someone picking up that mosaic along the way.
I'll second that.
That was a great idea.
Thank you.
Yeah, I like it. Okay, so we have a motion by Ms. Butagavoli, second by Ms. Lewin. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Okay, and then we'll need a separate motion for the variances.
Go ahead.
I'll make a motion to approve both variances.
Okay.
And the waiver. And do you need one for the waiver as well?
The waivers get incorporated
Including
in the
the,
design.
okay.
Okay, so we have a motion by Ms. Lewin, second by Mr. Lester on the variances, to approve the two variances. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Motion passes.
Thank you so much. Oh, before I forget, Rogelio
Oh.
and Alejandro, there was a typo in the draft order regarding the plan reference. I just want to make sure that's followed.
We'll correct the typo in the order. It's just listing the correct architect and plan name.
Okay. Again, we appreciate everyone's time.
Thank you
so
very much.
Thank you, everybody.
Okay. Should we move on to the next application?
The next application is DRB 25-1099, 935 Second Street. This application has been filed requesting design review approval for the construction of a new three-story multifamily building, including variances for minimum lot size and lot width, and including one or more waivers to be built on a vacant site. The proposed building is in the RPS 1 zoning district and the South of Fifth neighborhood, and is surrounded by multifamily buildings and 3 single-family residences. I think in the staff report we said 1, but it's actually 3 single-family residences adjacent to this property. The proposed building is sited on a narrow substandard lot measuring 40 feet wide by 100 feet deep, totaling 4,000 square feet. The project proposes a total of 2 units, 1 per floor, on the second and third levels. The ground floor contains 4 tandem parking spaces, an entrance vestibule, an elevator, enclosed stairs, a trash room, and ancillary storage spaces. The second and third floors each contain 1 apartment unit of 1,710 square feet, with 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms and a large front and rear balconies. The shared rooftop terrace featured built-in planters with irrigation and lighting and aluminum trellises for sun protection. The building has a contemporary design. Its front south elevation features cypress-colored wood cladding that wraps the ground floor garage, the second and third floors, and the rooftop parapet. The large floor-to-ceiling impact-resistant windows with champagne-colored aluminum frames are recessed into the wood cladding on the upper floors. A white stucco edge outlines the second floor slab, adding contrast between the wood elements above and below. Frameless glass balconies, railings maintain visual transparency, and landscape visible above the parapet soften the rooftop terrace. The east side of the building is simpler, finished in white semi-smooth stucco with recessed windows and a gray rough stucco stair and elevator core with revealed joints. The west side uses the same white stucco and recessed windows, but it is further animated by recessed balconies with frameless glass railings and warm wood-clad walls. Staff is supportive of the proposed design, which is in character with the surrounding neighborhood. In addition to this, the applicant is requesting the following variances. Variance number 1 is a lot area variance to reduce the minimum lot area required in the RPS 1 zoning district by 1,750 square feet, where 5,750 square feet is required and 4,000 square feet is existing. The second variance is a lot width variance, a variance to reduce the minimum lot requiring the RPS 1 zoning district by 10 feet, where 50 is required and 40 feet is existing. The subject parcel is an undersized lot, non-conforming in both lot size and lot width. The lot does not appear to have been platted in this manner, and therefore it is not considered a legally non-conforming lot. The lot is made up of the eastern portion of the two adjacent parcels, likely the backyards of their homes on those parcels. Historic parcel maps indicate that this configuration existed prior to 1941. This regulation would prevent the applicant from developing the parcel, thereby creating a significant hardship and a practical difficulty. The adjacent parcels are similarly undersized, so negative impacts are not anticipated from the granting of the proposed variances. Given that the site could otherwise not be developed, staff is supportive of the granting of the proposed variances. In view of the foregoing analysis, staff recommends the application to be approved with the conditions including and requested variances subject to the conditions on the draft order. And now, I don't know if the applicant is here to make a presentation.
No, it's going to be by Zoom.
By Zoom? Okay. So,
Okay. The architects are online by Zoom. Before we move on to their presentation, are there any disclosures? No? Okay. Are you the owner? On behalf of the owner? Okay, do you mind coming up, and then can you introduce who the architect is going to be? Who I should let speak?
I don't know anything about that much, it's the developer and the architect.
Okay, so who's who should do you know? I see some numbers on here. Adonis Morejon, and then I see a phone number. Adonis,
Yes,
okay.
Adonis Morejon.
Adonis, please introduce yourself, and you're welcome to present.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
I would
If you're
say greetings
if you're presenting this
board.
application, you have 10 minutes.
Greetings to the board, and I would like to thank the board staff for the support, because this is the first time our office will be presenting what project on the city of Miami. And greetings to everyone. I would like to walk you through the project very briefly. The address of the project would be 935 2nd Street, Miami Beach. And this is a 3-story residential building with 2 units and a rooftop.
Adonis, do we have a presentation a visual presentation to look at with something uploaded?
Yes.
There should be, there it is.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
When you're ready to move slides, please indicate next slide, and then we'll.
Got it. So yeah, we're gonna be talking about the project location. This presentation shows the context and the existing conditions. Then we're gonna go through the proposal, architectural proposal, and we're gonna talk about the variance request, and then we have floor plans, sections, and elevations to go to the specific. We can go to the next. These plans are showing the maps where we can see the parcel at the south of the Miami Beach. We are located on RPS 1, the not historic part of the Miami Beach, and the future will remain as a SPS 1. Next. In a closer look, we can see the location of this lot could be very next to South Point Beach, South Point Park, less than 1 mile to South Point Park, and really close to the Miami Beach Marina. We have also South Point Elementary School right to the west of the property. So it's a very small lot, but it has a great location on the Miami Beach. Next. So here are some aerial views so we can understand the context and the location of this vacant lot. We have adjacent residential properties on the two sides of the lot. We have one-story single-family residence with a traditional pitch roof. There's others 3, 4, and 5 stories multi-family buildings. But we only have, we can see in the next page, please. With a closer look, yeah, this is the site, and we can see that we have only one entrance, only one frontage along the 2nd Street. And we can see with better detail the two one-story single-family residence. And on the right of the page, we can see the typical 2 to 3 stories, 4 stories single-family, multi-family buildings that we have on the zone. Next. And now with a closer look in elevation, we can see now the proposal for the architecture. We're gonna have an understory area on the ground floor, and then we're proposing the 2 units on the 2nd and the 3rd floor that you can see on the elevation, and then a rooftop. There will be a difference in height between the single-family residence we have adjacent to the lot, but that will not happen with multi-family buildings on the other side of the street and on the rear of our lot to the north side. Next. Yeah, this is an area view with a rendering of the proposal. As we can see, we are using the rooftop with a continuous landscape planter. And this would be an introspective rooftop just for the residents of the building. We are using this, trying to use the same language that we have from the multifamily buildings adjacent with, trying to not to open too much the sites to respect the private residents on the sites, and enhancing the frontages to the 2nd Street and the rear of the property with a glass storefront along the 2nd Street. Next. This is a view, an area view from approximately Acton Road. Now we can see the intention of impact resistant storefront that will create a pretty emphasis on the frontage of the building. Next. And we are providing four parking spaces that will be completely concealed with a wooden roll-up door in tandem. And we're gonna be landscaping, concealing the parking from the sides. You can see there clearly see the 2nd and the 3rd floor, the 2 units that we're proposing, and the rooftop will not have any impact to the public view. You can see the existing condition on the left of the page. Next. Here are the elevations. We can see we're using materials, as I was saying, composite wood for the framing, frameless glass. We're using exposed concrete, architectural exposed concrete with joints to create some modern styles, along with the Art Deco vertical window slabs, recess. We're using also white stucco, and we texture white stucco also to create some detailing to the facade. Next. These are the size of the building, so here you can see the intention of minimizing the perforations to the single family residence size. So it is the strong intention to maintain the privacy to the neighbors on the sites. Next. This is a page for the specific we can now next. Next. So here's a roof plan, and here's what I would like to speak a little bit about the variance request, which is really simple. Variance number 1 would be a request to reduce the minimum lot area from what is required of 5,750 square feet to 4,000 square feet existing. Variance number 2 is to reduce the minimum lot width from 50 feet to 40 feet, which is existing. Here on the roof, we can see that we are proposing a small trellis only, very light structure. We are gonna have only the elevator bulkhead and the stairs roof going up to the rooftop, and facing the second street. We are trying to also maintain a landscape buffer along the second street, and using the planters to provoke the privacy, right? To maintain the privacy, and it's a continuum planter, and we have on the north side of our property, we have a pool deck, which is the other neighbor. We have adjacent to the north, and we are not using that part of the roof. We are using it only for it's a non-accessible roof with rooftop. Next. This is a ground floor plan, and we can see a little bit on detail how the tandem parking spaces are going to be located. And here we can see the ramp at the west side of the lot. We're creating a ramp to access to the raised deck that take you to the elevator and to the first habitable floor on the second. And then you're gonna have access to a rear yard, which is gonna be all landscape, surrounded by landscape in all the property faces. Next. And here's how the roof terrace would look like. It's a lot of landscape concealing the roof terrace that we are proposing. Next. And here are some of the sections, so we can see how the Crown Row will be, the future Crown Row will be raised, and how are we raising the main deck that takes you to the elevator, to the base, to the design base floor. And then the height of the building is set at 36 feet when the limit will be 40 feet. Next. And here is a longitudinal section where we can see when it says lobby there on the center of the building, that would be the decks that we're trying to reach with the ramp in one of the sides. And you can see here the tandem parking. We have bicycle
Mr. Chair, how
ramps
much more
also.
time?
Can I'm going to give you another one more minute just to wrap this up.
No, and that's it. That's basically the project. If you have any question, I'm glad to answer. Thank you all.
Thank you. Do we have any disclosures on the board? No.
We do have some hands raised if we want to open the
Okay.
public hearing.
It's open to the public.
The first one is a phone number, 1305-215-6694. Oh, the hand was just removed. Anybody who'd like to speak, please raise your hand. Okay, we have Tara Panaccioni.
Tara, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. You have 2 minutes. Please state your name and address.
Hi, Tara Panchone, 227 Michigan. I'm directly north of this project, homeowner. And I just want to point out that the fact that this, I don't know, am I echoing on your end?
Yes, you are.
I don't know why. How is it now?
If you're watching
I just
on
want to
TV,
point
turn
out
it
that
off.
this project is in the direct middle of the street, flanking two single-family homes on each side, which would cause, an obtuse situation to both of those single-family homes or the three single-family homes that are around it. The other thing is that the back of this building pushed back all the way to the lot line, and on the top has air conditioners that will be directly over the pool deck of 227 Michigan, which would cause a nuisance with noise, and also it would not be very nice to look at from our buildings. And the design from Alton Road, it looks a little awkward over those single families, since it's in the middle of the block. That's about it.
Thank you.
Next, we have Claudia Monti.
Claudia, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. You have 2 minutes. Please state your name and address.
Claudia Demonte, 927 2nd Street, Miami Beach, Florida 33139.
You can give your comment.
Yes, we are at 927 2nd Street, adjacent to the property. And the property, we are a single-family home. This property will not have the right setbacks, will cause noise, will damage our light and air, and will have loss of privacy. It's going to devalue our property. We will be able to literally reach across and could put our hands out and touch this property. It's going to block everything for us, basically ruining our lives. And it's not well thought out. It's totally oversized. And the way they're measuring where the plantings are going to be and how it's going to overhang is delusional. We're extremely upset and totally opposed to this coming to this little square of what's left of single-family homes in this area. It's a disaster for us.
Thank you. Is that it?
I think we could also say that the landscaping on the
Sorry,
east
sir, can I
side.
swear you in?
Can you swear him? Can you
Yes.
sworn in?
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Please state your name and address, or I guess the address is the same, but your
The
name.
name's William McGowan. It's 927 2nd Street, Miami Beach.
Thank you.
Yeah, one obvious thing is that the landscaping is proposed as palm trees on the east side of the the building, which will hang over our property, and blocking the light and the debris coming from the landscaping will be all over our property. That seems, the 3.5 foot setback, the 42-inch setback seems extremely unreasonable. So I think that looking at the drawings and what's proposed, it dwarfs our property and the one on the west side also. So I would like to have time to consider more of the problems that we're going to have with the existing proposal, and present those problems in a way that is that's formally understood and in writing.
There are no other hands raised. Oh, no, sorry, I apologize. There's a Cindy Esquivel.
Cindy, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes. Hi, good morning. Cindy Esquivel, 140 Jefferson Avenue. I live at the courts across the street from the subject property being presented today. I did appreciate being able to see the aerial views, but I have a couple comments and I have a question for the designer review board as I came a little bit late, and I did get the tail end of the presentation. My two questions are about the setback. Is it 3 feet from the property line and the fence 6 inches from the line? That's question number one. Question number two, is this zoned for commercial and multifamily property? From what I'm understanding, that vacant lot was a single family property prior. There are, as you depicted in the drawings and the pictures, the presentation, I got the tail end, is that particular area of Second Michigan had 4 family homes. It now has 3 and a vacant lot. The other ones depicted, which is my building, which is obviously zoned for commercial and multifamily as a condo. And then you have from 2nd Street going eastbound from Alton to Washington, you have a townhouse multifamily, which is tri-level on some and 2 on the other. And then you also have a condo on the other side. These other 2 vacant lots that were depicted, that one is currently being built and one was already built, those are single family homes. So my concern here is this is not a single family home. I think the other comments that you heard there were sincere, because what's happening is there are 2 concerns that I would have for the neighborhood, for the integrity of what we have now, is that is a very large structure in a small space, in my opinion. It's also, the design is for 3 units. So my concern is, he claims there's parking underneath. We already have a parking problem already with very little parking on 2nd and very, very limited parking because of all the desire and need for the surrounding area on Michigan. So I ask that this particular property, perhaps they can come back with a single family home. I think that would be more relevant because that's what's already there and that's what's already been approved on 2nd Street. Thank you so much.
Thank you. There's one more. It's a phone number. It's 1305-215-6694.
Could the caller please state their name and address?
Hi, my name is Clark Mitchell, and I live at 205 Michigan Avenue, right next to the property on the west side.
Clark, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I did.
Thank
and I'd like to say good morning to our awesome mayor and our awesome commissioners. But in addition, I concur with everything that's already been said. And I have gone down to the city and I spoke to Kara Boyles and Regilio, and I found out that the zoning was changed from RM1 to 3001. And I don't recall ever having a hearing on that. And then the setback, as concurring with my neighbor on the east side of the lot, this thing's going to be right in our face. And I was set back 6 inches from my property line. So I'd like to know, is this thing 42 inches from the property line, including their fence setback? And I'm concerned about that the area has residential, single-family residences already, and it was built in 1936. So I hope it stays in the framework of the single-family home. The other thing is the architect and the property owner have never reached out to us. Have never come by and knocked on a door just to say, hey, how are you doing? And I'm open to building on the lot. I mean, this place needs to get developed. I know it's going to be developed, and I'm happy for it to happen, but I'd like them to be in agreement with all of our concerns, and I hope they abide by that. And I welcome them to do what they, to come to our doors and talk to us. And just for the record, I'd like to say all these chickens down here, they're not mine.
Thank you. No other hands are raised. I don't know if there's anybody else in the audience that would like to speak.
Rogelio, I think it would be helpful to me and maybe to the other board members that before we start deliberating, that you just inform us as to what is allowed in the current zoning, which is RPS-1.
Mm-hmm.
Is it residential? Is it multifamily? What is it? And then also, based on the comments and concerns of the neighbors that called in, what are the required setbacks on the side, front, and rear based on the size of this lot?
Okay. So I guess, first of all, can we close the public hearing?
Yes.
Yes, okay. The site is zoned RPS-1. That is in what's in the south of Fifth area. The zoning is called the Performance Standards District, and R stands for residential, and 1 is the lowest intensity. So it is a multifamily district, does not allow for commercial uses, but it does allow for an apartment building, essentially. So the applicant is proposing 2 units, so that would be an allowable use within this district. As far as I know, it has always been zoned for multifamily, at least going back to the prior zoning code in 1989. I don't recall it being anything else. The setbacks that are required here are on the side, interior setbacks, they're 5 feet. On the front, there's a build-to line of 5 feet, and the project complies with both of those. They're not seeking any variances of the setbacks. So
Front or side?
Front or side. It's 5 feet on both sides and 5 feet in the front. And then on the rear, 10%. It's 10% of the lot depth. So this would be, gotta do some math here. 10 feet. 10 feet. Sounds right.
And does the project comply with those,
They are complying with the required setback.
with the side setback, front and rear?
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So the only variances they're seeking is for the lot size. Any of the immediate lots in this vicinity, if they were going to be developed, would likely need, redeveloped, they would likely need a similar variance because all of the lots in this area are undersized.
So the lot size is 4,000 square feet. The proposed FAR is 4,506 square feet. So they're basically, but then it says maximum FAR.
Yes, they are slightly below the maximum allowable FAR.
So they're okay with the FAR.
Correct.
What is the issue with the lot size?
The code,
Yeah, there is a minimum required lot size for this zoning district, which is, I have it here. They have now 4,000, but the requirement is 5,750. So it's a smaller lot. The same for the lot width, which the requirement is 50 feet, and they are 40 feet. So they need these variances to develop the lot.
So in Rogelio's presentation, I recall that apparently this lot had some other piece of property adjacent to it that was broken off and I guess sold for something else, whether it be the building in the back, which is a 5-story building, the one that Mrs. Passiani was referring to, or the building to the west, which is a multifamily 1-story, but that was built in 35, 36, so may have been either one of those two.
Yeah, what it appears is that this lot was originally the rear yard of the two lots facing, is it Commerce Street? Facing, I apologize. Let me go to the,
Is it possible to bring up the map that shows the location of the lot in relationship?
Michigan Avenue.
Michigan Avenue.
Michigan Avenue.
Yeah. So it appears that this was the rear yard of the lots facing Michigan Avenue originally, probably 100 years ago. When we looked at.
Michigan, I'm sorry, Michigan is to the east,
To the west.
to the west.
To the west.
Okay.
When we looked at old lot maps going back to the 1940s, it looks like this lot was split off at some point in the 1940s and created as a separate lot. So they took the rear yards of those two homes that were existing since the 1930s and made a separate lot that was undersized, and that resulted in all of the lots being undersized. This predates our current regulations. This seems like it was done without a formal replatting process. People used to just cut the land, do a survey, and sell it. And so because it was never formally replatted, we can't consider it a legally non-conforming lot. If it was a legally non-conforming lot that had been platted pursuant to the regulations at the time, they wouldn't need this variance. But because we can find no evidence of a formal replat process, they need a variance for it being undersized and not meeting the minimum lot width. So anything that they would want to build on this lot would require this variance.
And because the lot is 4,000 square feet, what would typically be the allowed FAR allowed in a lot of 5,000 square feet, of 4,000 square feet?
So we basically just multiply the lot size times 1.25. So in this case, it's a 4,000 square foot lot. We multiply it by 1.25, and you would be allowed to do a 5,000 square foot building.
Okay. And lot coverage and unit size?
The lot coverage, we don't have lot coverage regulations in this district. We just have setbacks, which they comply with. And then the minimum unit size, there is a minimum unit size. I believe it's 550 square feet, but they comply with it. Let me just double check that minimum unit size.
And open space, Virgilio?
There is a requirement for open space that they are providing. It does allow you to provide some of that on the roof and some of that in the rear yard. And so they're complying with that regulation.
So the unit size is 550 square feet?
The minimum, they exceed
Minimum.
that. Each unit
Yeah.
is, each unit is 1,700 square feet.
So the fact that they exceed the unit size is not a problem to planning?
Correct. No, we have a minimum, so
Yeah.
so actually the minimum unit size in this district is 700 square feet. And then and there's no average, so they exceed the minimum of 700, so they're fine.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody else want to take a stab at this?
I can.
I have a comment on that.
Go ahead.
Regarding the landscaping on the palms that are being designed for the east side, the homeowner was making a comment regarding how that's going to be probably an issue for them. I have 2 homes that have palms, and they're constantly falling. My neighbor's palms are constantly falling on my lot, and my palms are falling on their lot as well. So I could understand the concern of the homes that are there with these palms being put up because the fronds will fall onto their property, and they're going to have to deal with that, for sure.
Yeah, okay, I guess I'll I'll begin. I mean, thank you for the explanation too, Rogelio, because that was very helpful. And I mean, I definitely sympathize with the neighbors here, but it almost sounds like this is largely permitted by right, and this isn't really within our purview to deny, you know. And I think this is, again, it's just this is a changing neighborhood. I was looking down Second, and you know, it's largely multifamily, absent this little corner now. So, you know, speaking to the design and how to relate it to what is existing now, which you know could also change in the future, and they may want to develop something similar. I do agree with Andres about the palms. I mean, it's kind of tough, right? Because what else can you plant there in that small area? But perhaps, you know, I encourage the applicant to be having these discussions with their neighbors. You know, it was upsetting to hear, I guess, that wasn't done here. But maybe there can be talks with the neighbors about maintenance of the palms or whatever is planted there. I'm struggling to think what else would really fit well there that wouldn't also be a nuisance, but so that's kind of my thoughts on the palm issue. Maybe we could encourage the applicant to take on responsibility and require them to, you know, be proactively maintaining the palms so it doesn't become a nuisance for the neighbors. Maybe that's beyond our purview as well. I think that speaking to the design, which is really what we're here to talk about, I do like the building. I think that the design is very nice. I appreciate the sides of the building. It seems like a lot of thought was there to kind of break up monotony and provide interest on the side of the building. So I'm in favor of the design. I don't really have any comments there. So I'll let somebody else go on.
I have two comments that I'd like to make. I guess the first one is in terms of changing the character of the neighborhood. Considering that both the north and south have multifamily housing, I'm not sure how this is a drastic change at this point. But I also agree about the second comment is regarding the palms. That does will prove to be a nuisance, and would like to propose looking to put in a vegetative wall or some type of green buffer that won't intrude on its neighboring properties. So maybe a climbing vine or some type of plant buffer that won't, I guess, overhang on the.
So that would be like a vine on the facade of the building?
Vine on the side of the building or some type of vegetative.
Green wall?
A green wall, exactly.
Okay.
So.
On both sides?
I would say both sides, because both neighbors are losing their access to green space. I mean, not access to green space, but their view of green space that was once a open lot. So I think just having a plain stucco wall versus the vegetative green wall would be a lot better.
So point of clarification, is it zone multiple or is it single family?
Multiple.
Multiple family.
Okay, so I think the design is beautiful. I really like it. But given everything that Ms. Levin has said, I'm in agreement with her as well, so I don't find a problem with the design.
They could have designed it this way as just put one unit instead of two, and it would look exactly the same.
Yeah, this is just a tricky zoning in an area where this is what they're allowed, and what they're asking for between the lot area and the lot width, it can't be built without those, so would always be vacant without that. And I looked at it, and Virgilio luckily explained it to you, and I studied it, and they're really not asking to build anything bigger or anything. I had a question about the gate in the front facade to the board. If there was too much wood in the front facade, would it be nice to change that to a different material, or do we like the consistency of that? That was one question. And also in the rear yard, it's covered. There's a rear yard space that's covered, and it looks as if it's open to, and I'm addressing this to the architect if you're still listening. It looks as it's open to the lobby. Are there any doors or anything, or is the backyard that's covered, is that an open space with the bike storage and so forth? Can you explain that a little bit?
Yes, if we can look at the presentation.
Page 11.
Can we go up to the floor plans?
Slide 11. This one.
There. Let's start there. Yes, there is no gate that prevents the residents to go down to the rear yard. It's all open, completely open, and with free movement. And the only gate we have is a main gate at the very front of the property line there. That's all we have. That's the only access control, and of course the roll-up door for the parking.
Which is in the front of the building.
Yeah, which is on the 5 feet front or back.
Okay. Have you used the architectural concrete method you're proposing for the sidewalls? That's the stucco version of that? And have you seen it successfully done?
Yes, we have 2 or 3 ways to do it. Actually, we have been using like a cladding material from Cosentino, Dectan. Could be, looks like a big concrete slabs that is going to be a cladding to the walls. And it's seamless. I mean, at least we try to make it seamless and make it look like an architectural rough concrete.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think I want to address specifically the comments made by the residents, because we as a board see this project today, but the residents surrounding the project live with it the rest of their life or as long as they stay in the neighborhood. And then I'd like to speak about the design and take off from what Adam mentioned. So Mrs. Passioni that lives to the north is concerned with the height of the proposed building, proposed residence. The height is actually lower than the building that is to the north where she's at. That is a 5-story building currently, and this ends up being a 3-story with a rooftop, and I'm sure with higher ceilings, but it is no higher than the 5-story building to the north. Am I correct in that? Okay. As to Ms. DeMonte that lives on 2nd Street, concerns about the setback, as we heard from Rogelio Madan, they are meeting the setback requirements for the sides, which is 5 feet, the front, which is 10 feet. And
5 feet as well.
5 feet as well, I'm sorry, and the back, which is 10 feet. They are not encroaching into those side areas. They're not asking for encroachment into those areas. As to the debris from the palms on the side, it's a tall building compared to the site that Ms. DeMonte lives in. So in order to break up that wall of 3 stories, you need to put something high to break up the wall, and palms do that. If you put up a tree in a 5-foot setback, it becomes very difficult. Palm fronds do fall. It depends on the palm that they plant, but they do fall, and they fall all over Miami Beach into our neighbor's yard from our own palm fronds and their neighbors into my yard. But it doesn't seem to be an issue that we can address or that even the city can address. As to the comments from Ms. Esquivel, that lives in the courts was done back in the early 90s, finished sometime in the 90s as well. And, it's a beautiful area, as well as what Mr. Mitchell said. We are not increasing, or this project is not being allowed to increase its unit size or its lot coverage or its setbacks. It's just, unfortunately, at some point back in the maybe 20s or 30s, the lot that this property occupies that's being proposed to us was sold off without going through the city. And so this lot ends up being smaller than any other lot that would reasonably be built and developed on. So we hear your concerns. You are in a multi-family residential area. It is not single-family residential, as you have many multi-families surrounding you. And unfortunately, as time goes, there'll be even probably your own lots may end up being sold and developed by you or by someone else to a much higher development than what you currently occupy to the east and to the west. As to the design, I agree with Adam. I think when I look at the front, it's a nice design, but it's too much in my face. It's too much wood. It's too much of a block of wood. So if something can be broken up there, maybe with the garage door that's on the bottom, I think, and I don't know what it would be. I'm not an architect, but it's just too much of a wood block to me. And I think something with the garage door could maybe soften it up. So I think that would be an improvement to the design to the front of the building, in my point of view. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone want to make a motion, and is it possible to have the ownership revert back to speaking with neighbors regarding landscaping?
No.
No, you can't require that as a condition of approval.
But we can require that maybe, I don't know if the architect is still on or the lady that's presenting here, representing the owners here today. Can we request that they continue to another meeting in the future and come back if the board so desires as a whole? Because so far it was only Adam and I with the problem of the frontage. Come back with a revision to the front that is less blocking of wood? Is that possible?
Absolutely.
Yes.
We can require it, or the architect has to require deferment to continuance to another meeting?
No, if you're not comfortable approving it and you'd like the architect to make changes, that's within your purview to continue
Okay.
the item to a future meeting.
Yeah, as opposed to denying the application.
Yes.
Can
okay.
we include reviewing the landscaping on the side lot?
Sure.
And recommending?
And recommending that they speak with neighbors, you know,
I
and
wouldn't
take
include a
into
recommendation about speaking with
Nothing.
neighbors.
Okay.
Or-
Chair, can I
Yeah.
show a recommendation if possible?
Sure, let's.
So this is I don't know if the camera can zoom into my laptop here. There you go.
the landscape architect.
Fantastic. Here's an example of a possible design that could be done to prevent the palm fronds from falling onto. I know even the barrel tile roofs get cracked when these palms fall on them. So here's an alternative solution to something like this that could be incorporated into design.
As well
Power
as
of AI.
As well as
Is-
what Akil said about running
Yeah.
stainless steel cable and vines and things.
Well,
that-
that's not, that's something different, right? This is planted versus,
It'll be cheaper than a vegetative wall, but I don't know if it'll be that much cheaper, but.
Well, the other side doesn't has the ramp, so there's nowhere to plant anything, so.
Right.
Those people are also looking back
I
there.
think stainless steel cable with the vine.
Yeah.
Climbing vine up a wall would create a green buffer, not necessarily a whole buffer, but you'll at least see
Breaks it a little bit.
breaks it up and make
To the, is your landscape architect online? I had mentioned to the owner that the landscape architect should be here.
Yeah, I mean, if I recall correctly, I think that those cypress trees do need a lot of sun, so I mean, I don't know if,
we're gonna get sun.
yeah.
They'll get sun there
Partial.
today, but until such time that something is built to the east and to the west, there will be no sun on those walls, on those sides. But that may
Yeah.
be a year from now, it may be 10 years, 20 years from now. But at least for now, it softens the,
Yeah.
Yeah, and the consideration is to the lower scale,
Yeah.
the lower scale of the adjacent properties, I think is the mention.
We motion.
Sure.
Or did you already motion?
so this can't be on the west side? Because there's a ramping on that side? Yeah, okay.
Looks like it, or we might be able to get vines or something.
But yeah, get something else on each of the sides
Yeah.
The
to
west
show
side has
some
a- yeah,
accommodation
a walkway.
or consideration for the neighbors to the east and west.
It can be towards the rear portion of the west side beyond the walkway,
Okay.
which is, I think, where the palm trees were proposed.
You want to summarize that?
Okay. So I make a motion that we continue for a future meeting to be set by the owner of DRB 25 1099 at 935 Second Street.
Yeah.
And
Can we put it to a date certain, because otherwise it would
yeah,
require,
okay, and they
Yeah.
can
If we need
move
more, we
it
can
forward,
move- yeah.
okay, to the September.
September
Yeah,
11th.
September, because August,
Recess.
we're not meeting, so September 11th of 2026, and to, when they come back, to look at the facade, specifically possibly the garage door, and the landscaping on both sides, the east and west of the property.
That's good.
Okay.
I'll second.
and I'm sorry, you had a recommendation on the garage for it to be,
Door.
And I personally, I leave that up to the architect. That's his, I feel it's his responsibility and job, his building, his design. But to me, Adam made a mention, maybe it can be done with the garage door. To me, it's just too much wood in the front. It just looks, it's too bold.
Relief, yeah.
So something to break up the wood, whether it be in another location. Adam mentioned the garage door, I agree. I think that's a possibility.
okay. All right, we have a motion to continue, and we've provided some direction to the architect.
I second that.
Second by Mr. Paez. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Motion passes. The item will be continued to the September 11th meeting.
Thank you.
I feel like you add like random planters. Unless those things we hang or hanging planters that run the same.
Okay.
The top roof. That's too.
Okay. Like in the drawings, they have, or
No, they
what-
don't. We add like added
to add that.
planters.
Okay, we can say.
Could I add those two? Could I add that?
Yeah, you can add.
Okay.
I was asking, could I also add like, know about the in terms of planters and
Landscape.
On the roof, that the landscaping can overhang on the roof? Yeah,
You can tell them to look at.
yeah, yeah. We'll add that to our discussion. I think we have enough direction where we can.
Continue.
Yeah, continue.
All right.
Mr.
Oh, it's up to
Chair,
the chair.
just for the record, it is 11 o'clock. I have a hard stop at 1.
Okay, and we just lost one member.
Yes.
So let's
um,
continue.
Let's
and-
continue. Can you read the next item?
Yes, the next file is DRB 261161, FKA DRB 241072, 299 72nd Street. This application has been filed requesting modification to a previously approved design review approval for the construction of a new 5-story community complex with parking garage, library, community center, aquatic center, fitness center, retail, multipurpose fields, and jogging track. Specifically, the applicant is proposing changes to the materials, design elements, landscaping, and other architectural features.
Okay.
And who is?
There, okay. So this is for the North Beach Community Center, which is located on 72nd Street in what is currently a parking lot. The project was previously approved by the board on May 15th. The applicant then came back on April 16th proposing some changes. The board approved the changes to the building itself. So that included changes to some of the materials, some of the architectural features, and the structure itself. That was all approved. However, the board continued the site plan and the art and public places, which is intended to screen the parking garage, to the June 11th meeting. The applicant requested a continuance to this meeting, and they have since made several revisions to the plans based on the direction from the board. The direction of the board called for activation of the open space on the northeast corner, improving connectivity and visibility of the northeast corner of the building, look for opportunities to create seating and community gathering opportunities in the northeast and southeast corners of the site, and study the color of the art on the garage screening, in particular the green colors. So the applicant has submitted some revised plans. The revised plans are intended to address the concerns of the board. They incorporate additional seating areas in the northeast, central east, and southeast portions of the open space that front Collins Avenue. They removed some of the smaller shrubs and trees in the northeast corner of the site, which improves the visibility to the retail area and to the seating areas immediately adjacent to the retail area. However, they did keep the larger specimen trees, which provide shade to the users of those seating areas. Additionally, they provided some renderings that show these seating areas, so it's very clear. The board had some questions as to how these areas would look, and it's very clear that there will be direct views to the retail area on the northeast portion of the site. The seating areas will be available to patrons of those businesses, as well as people that are just wanting to enjoy the park, and it provides a significant improvement. So I think the comments were well received, and I think it significantly enhances the site plan. Regarding the art and public places and the garage screening, the applicant provided 3 additional options to replace that previously proposed green color. Specifically, there were 2 large triangles that had a light lime green color. The applicant has proposed 3 shades of blue, ranging from a darker to a lighter. Staff is most comfortable with option 2, which is a middle shade of blue, that fits in well with the remaining shades of the mural and provides a cohesive look. Overall, staff is supportive of the change and of the rest of the changes proposed for the site plan, and recommend that the application be approved, subject to the conditions in the attached order. And I'll turn it over to the applicant. But before we do that, are there any disclosures? No. Okay.
Morning, board members. My name is Herman Fung. I'm the senior project manager with the Capital Improvements Office. Here to talk about the 72nd Street Community Complex project today. We have here in person today the Watermaker Jensen Architect design team with Wolfberg Alvarez and the landscape team, CGA. And then we have online the artist, Atelier Maffredini. Yeah, Aliyah. Just to recap what Rogelio had mentioned, again, in 2025, May of 2025, under DRB 241072, the project was presented and approved with a few comments. And when we came back in April 2026, the the project was, they asked us to address some of the comments about the art and look at the activation of the open space, improve some of the connectivity and visibility to the project, and look at some opportunities for creative seating. With that said, the purpose of us being here today is just only to discuss these items. And with that,
Hi, good morning. My name is Natalia Levine. I'm with WJ Architects. So our presentation, I want to also just thank you for having us back to address your comments. I believe your comments were really helpful and actually have really helped the development of the design of the site, for the site plan. So our presentation will focus on addressing your comments and also continue to show how we're balancing all the site constraints, the program requirements, as well as how the goal for the project to create a vibrant a site plan with connected space for the community. Next. So Herman has already addressed this slide, so I'm going to move on to the next. So this is our site plan showing the previous site plan we presented. It's only focusing on the east side of the project. And on the right side, you have the current site plan and the proposed and the added seating that we've incorporated into the site. So on the south, we have added a seating area that is accessible within that the island, and in the center of the multipurpose, we also added a seating area below the canopy of the trees, as well as an added seating area also accessible off the running loop and also accessible from Collins Avenue. On that north section, we've removed 5 smaller trees that were not in great condition in order to allow for that seating area to be added and increase visibility. This is a view of the existing conditions of the trees. I wanted here to show how the existing canopy, which will be remaining, will allow for visibility into currently the parking lot, what will be the multipurpose field. Something to note is that the existing stone wall will be removed, so that will also increase visibility into that field. So here we have the enlarged site plan of the south area. And here what we're trying to really highlight is all the amenities that we are proposing for the project. So we have, obviously, on the right side, we have the tree canopy that we're preserving. We also have item number 2, which is the seating area at the step of the egress stair, the monumental egress stair. We also have item number 3, which is an existing proposed retaining wall, which will be a seat wall, which will line the west edge of the multipurpose field. Item number 4 is the 30,000 square foot multipurpose field. And item number 5 is a built-in seat wall, which we've incorporated into the edge of the facade. The seat wall will be focused in the direction of Collins Avenue and multipurpose, allowing for views and visibility of the activity. Item number 6 is towards the bottom right. It's a little hard to find, but it's bicycle parking. And item number 7 is that seating area on the south that I mentioned before, located below 2 relocated trees, and then in the center seating area within the multipurpose field. So here's this view is showing us looking in the west direction with Collins Avenue to our back and 72nd Street to our left. Here on the left side, you can see the added seating area, which is focused and directed towards the multipurpose field. This seating area would be accessible directly from the plaza, which is accessible from the sidewalk. Beyond that seating area, you have the elevated platform, seating area, which is integrated into that egress stair. And then behind that, on the side of the multipurpose field, you have that seat wall, retaining wall, which is a seat wall as well. And then behind that, you've got the built-in seating area along the edge of the building. Here we have the north enlarged plan of site plan. Again, showing some of the conditions that we just reviewed, continuing up into the northern section of the site plan. On the top north, as Rogelio mentioned, we've got the specimen trees, the 2 specimen trees that we will be maintaining. And then, but we have removed 5 of the trees that were previously located in this area in order to incorporate that seating area. So number 2 is the elevated plaza steps, again integrated into that monumental egress stair, but allowing for room for people to sit and gather and really experience the surrounding activities. Item number 3 is the continuation of that retaining wall, seat wall, which really encourages people to spectate what's happening on the multipurpose field, but also for the users of the multipurpose field to rest and relax. Number 4, again, is the multipurpose field continued into the north. And then number 5 is the plaza. It's a 2,760 square foot plaza with seating area for 184 feet. 84 people. The area has room for tables and chairs and seating, really to complement the retail space that is adjacent. Number 6, again, more bicycle parking on that northern area over here. And then number 7, we've already talked about, it's that bench seating area, which is really nested between the proposed vegetation, the running loop, and the trees around it. So it'll be a really nice shaded area for someone to take a rest and relax. It's also accessible from the sidewalk, from this path right here. And then number 8 is the running loop. Again, it's a 10-foot wide running loop that continues all the way around the site and encourages jogging, walking, and just other recreational activities. So here you have a view. This is a view looking towards the west with Collins Avenue to our back, 73rd Street on the right. This view really focuses on how the running loop intersects with the plaza entrance, the landscape, the 2 existing trees that will remain, and the visibility of the retail space and the plaza activity. This is a view standing on the running loop, looking towards the west again, with 73rd on the right and Collins to our back. Here we have that monumental egress stair, and to the right of it, you have that added seating area with benches, and the running loop with the seat wall adjacent to it for users and city citizens to be able to walk and take a respite from their activities. This is a view looking south with 73rd to our back and Collins Avenue on our right. Again, the 2 specimen trees and the views out to Collins and the bandshell beyond. This is the plaza for 184 occupants, allowing for tables and chairs and really for any activities that could pursue within the space and the field. Again, an example would be a Starbucks or some sort of restaurant that could occupy those retail spaces. And this is our view looking north from the running loop. Again, to the right, you have that multi-purpose field with the seat wall that follows and turns to the east. You have Collins to your right, 73rd is beyond. So this is that monumental stair with the built-in platform for allowing for seating and people to gather. The retail space to the left, activating that plaza with tables and chairs strewn throughout where possible. So that concludes the portion of addressing our comments, our site plan comments. So now we will move on to the screen colors. We do have our artist online. I believe she's online to speak to the design. So one thing I would like to mention is that the art was, the comment was to explore the color scheme for the art with particular to the green component in that triangle piece. Our response, the artist studied alternate color options, as Rogelio has mentioned. We did maintain the overall color palette of the blues because we felt it was important to, one, maintain the artist's vision, but also stay within the concept that she had originally created for the waterways and reflection. So with that, I'd like to allow Elena to speak to her proposed options.
Hi, everybody. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Hi, good morning. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for allowing me to present our exploration of possible colors. Just as a reminder to everybody, this is an art screen for the garage of the project that transforms the facade into a playful, uplifting experience inspired by water and movement. We have vibrant aqua tones and energetic patterns that animate the architectural surface, turning the building into an engaging visual presence in the community. Next. This is the original proposal, day, next, and night. The desire was to create alternatives and consider them so that we could propose something to replace the green color of the two triangles. And we ran 3 alternate schemes in the shades of blue. This is option 1. You can see is a darker shades of blue that still connect to the idea of the colors and water and vibrancy of the facade. This is a day view, and next, the night view. Option 2, it's a medium color shade of blue as well. This is a day, next, night view. And finally, a third scheme on the lightest side of the aqua colors. This is a day view, next, the evening view. And this is again to explore possible alternatives to colors to choose from. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have anybody else speaking or any?
Sorry?
Anybody else speaking?
No, that's
it. Anybody online?
Okay, so we're going to open the public hearing. If you're online and you'd like to speak, please raise your hand. Now, we'll note that Board Member Asun is still online, so he will be able to participate in the discussion. I don't see any hands raised online.
Okay, anybody in the public here? No?
Okay,
Open this
close
up
the public hearing.
to the board. Who would like to start? Go ahead.
I can say it's definitely a drastic improvement. I didn't think it would need that much improvement before, but I still think this is drastically helps us understand, especially the retail component and how it will look with pedestrian seating. And I definitely appreciate and compliment that you guys added that detail with actually showing, a storefront and how it'll be used. And it's much improved.
Thank you.
No changes or comments to say about it. Definitely thank and appreciate that you guys added this detail, because now I can fully grasp at how the space will look. I mean, yeah, I have nothing else to add to it. It looks much better. Thank you.
Thank you.
I agree. I think this is a very nice improvement. Thank you for incorporating the different types of seating. I think that's really, that was a big comment, obviously, from last time, and I think that the flow works a lot nicer, and I like, you know, that you have different varying types of seating and, you know, movable and immovable, so I think that all works really nicely. I did have one question, because you said earlier in the presentation, you said that there was the stone wall being removed from where the fields are. Was that what you had originally proposed, or is that like okay, so is it just open with trees? Okay, very nice. Okay, I like that. Okay, yeah, and then I guess speaking to the art, just I'll say my preference here. I never had an issue with the original art, so I think that the original art is still my favorite, and then number 2 is my second favorite.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. I had no issue with the color, but
Yeah.
option 2 is my favorite, yeah.
So yeah, thank you. Thank you.
So, thank you for your presentation. I agree as far as the mural. I never had a problem with the green. I'm okay with the green. But if it changes from the green, then option number 2 is also very nice. I think, however, I still prefer the original. As to the additional seating, I know that we requested additional seating. And it's good to have the additional seating incorporated into the park. My concern is how the seating is going to be used by the homeless. And we do have a problem in that area, at least we did. We've had homeless sleeping in the slides of the children's playground across the street in the playground between Dickens and Harding. We've even encountered a person that was dead on the baseball field when we opened up the park in the morning. And this was some years back, but the area has improved. However, it's not improved to the point where I still do not have a concern with the homeless use of all this seating area. So somewhere along the way, you need to work with Parks and Recreation or the city in making sure that it does not become a haven later on for the homeless population. As to the wall, I know that we talked about the wall last time. I think it's like a coral rock wall or some sort, and it's not very high. It's maybe 2 feet high, and it runs along Collins Avenue. I'm in favor of keeping that wall, because if you're using that field with a ball, that ball is going to run, and I'm afraid that it's going to run into Collins Avenue.
There is a picket fence that we're
Okay.
including.
Okay.
It's further towards the outside.
Okay.
That wall would interfere with the play
Okay.
fields, so.
That's fine. That would be fine. So thank you. Those are my comments.
Anything from over there?
I'm good.
Okay.
For the record, I like the green as well, but I do like design number 2 as well. But other than that, the seating, I was looking at the statistics for homelessness. Miami Beach has done great for eliminating homeless. It says that at our last record, we had 93 in the total city, so that's a record low. So just FYI.
Thank you.
Thank you. Again, I definitely really like the seating, and now the views, we can see what's really happening in the northeast there. I just had a couple of questions. Is there, between the running track and the sidewalk on the northeast corner, is everything in flush condition? And
Yes.
it's a material change, specifically kind of looking at the render 1 and render 2?
Can we bring back the presentation?
Yeah, just because there's one other point I just wanted to bring up to the board. Page 8. and 9.
I'm not sure how to go back.
Can we bring up page 8 and 9 of the presentation? PJ, CJ?
Well, while we wait, there is a material change between the running loop and the sidewalk. There's also a transition change between the materiality for the plaza and where they kind of intersect with the running loop. So we wanted to make sure that that intersection was clearly defined.
So the corner swath in the track is going to be a different material indicating where you cross over the track, trying to guide people to
Yeah,
cross over the track
it
to the
has
stairs.
a kind of a framed
Please use the
out
laptop.
section. Oh. How do I go back? I'm pressing the button, but it's not going back. Oh, here we go.
The arrow key? Are you pressing the arrow key on the laptop?
Oh,
There
sorry,
you go.
no, I was pressing the
Great
back
job.
button.
Thank you.
Was it this one, this view?
The one before this. Sorry, if you go to the plan, you can, right here. So that band in the corner is a different material in
Yeah.
the track. Okay, that makes sense. And I guess the reason why I'm asking is there a need for that for the other stair, or are you trying to direct people from the sidewalk to use that to come in? Even though the stair going up is in a different location, so like around where the number 7 is.
Oh, where the number 8. Oh, we could. I think we were trying to really focus on the plaza entry. This is more of a secondary, but we can certainly look at integrating.
It was just a question. I like the move to do that. I think otherwise people sort of stand there like, do I?
Right.
And it'll help not wear the track as much. The other thing I noticed is in this rendering, this view of the corner, which is render 1 on page 8, this is the only view that I see 10-foot spacing light posts. And does the track have this everywhere? Do we see this anywhere else? I'm trying to imagine an evening situation, and is this a lot of light right at the sidewalk here, almost taking away from the what's behind it in a nighttime situation? I just noticed that, and I know you need lighting on the track, but could it be lower light, and could those be more of a path light type situation? But also, I'm asking, are they all the way around the building? What is going on in terms of traffic?
They do continue around the north and the south. I think on the west we do have slightly higher lighting, but we do need it. In order to meet that light requirement that we need for just safety. So we can look at the spacing. If we were to change to something a little lower, like a bollard, which we have looked at, you are increasing or adding more. You're going to need more bollards because the light spread is smaller. So you're going to increase the amount. It also increases cost, something we've got to balance. So we can certainly take a look at it.
No, I just wanted to add that several months ago, the police had approached us to talk about the lighting. During the day, you guys spoke about the homeless. During the day, when these spaces are activated and you have a lot of people, the homeless tend not to come out during the day if there are activities. In the evening is when the police have said in this area, the homeless issue is the most prevalent. So they had asked us to try to, without producing too much light that might interfere with like the turtles, higher up above. On the lower areas, they asked us to kind of light it up so that when the patrol cars come through, if there are anybody, sleeping on a bench, they could address it. Because a lot of the times the police activity in the evening is not foot traffic, it's more vehicular. So they drive by, they want to be able to have it, illuminated. If I missed anything from
No.
when we met with the officer.
Yeah, I think what the police had said is the best deterrent is lighting and just being able to see it from the street when they're driving past. So I think illumination is really the key, balancing with the turtle requirements, which is the complete opposite.
Is there a way to layer the lighting? Sorry, is there a way to layer the lighting though, that if the path is low and then they're not worried about homeless people on the run path. It's
Right.
obviously behind that. So I just have a thing with pole lights and I want this to be as attractive corner as possible. And when I see these, I think like if these could be bollards and then
Sure.
you're gonna have another type of lighting behind, which could be recessed lights or poles and actually brings more attention to the commercial space behind it. I would think that would be nicer. I don't know if the bollards then are in everywhere else around the wrap, and or do you switch back, and is that weird to have that in a running path, having different type of lights
Right.
throughout the project? I don't know, but I just focused on this view being like, why are we putting lights at 10 feet when you step back from across the street? You're gonna then, those will glare in what you're looking at the commercial space there. So, I don't know, I would maybe suggest that's looked at.
Yeah, we can look at that area, maybe putting some bollards in that corner, so you don't
I know
have
there'll
that.
be warm light, but it's still, I'm trying to get rid of light poles everywhere.
Even if they shine down, which they're required to.
They
because
are,
of the
yeah.
turtles.
They have to be cut
It still,
off.
you feel, will conflict with the retail behind?
I think bollards will
Yeah.
look better. I think
Okay.
low bollards that as long as,
Okay.
they can wash enough light on there. I think layering of lighting is always more successful and bollards work for that. But I'll let you guys work on that.
Yeah.
And just because we're all weighing in on the art, it seems, as I studied this, it seems like only the triangles really changed, right? Okay. And yeah, just the colors of the two triangles changed. So I like two. But there's only us, so we can vote. That's all I have. Thank you for these changes,
So
though.
do we need to vote on the color of the triangles? Or we leave it up?
Our draft recommendation says option 2, but if you'd like the original color better, that would be something
Okay.
you would want to vote on. Otherwise, if you just vote per staff's recommendation, it'll go to option 2.
Okay. How many want green and how many want option 2? I guess that's the toss, right?
I mean, I'm okay with either. I don't know if let the applicant decide between those
If
two.
it influences you at all, the artist
You can.
prefers the green.
Yeah.
That's still her favorite.
I did say
Let
that.
the applicant decide, and then we can offer option
Yeah.
2, but let the applicant decide what they want to do.
The artist
Artist is-
decide?
artist-
Okay. Well,
let
the
the artist
artist is
decide.
going to decide on green.
Green, yeah.
So
If you do that,
if
it's green.
anybody's
It's
opposed
green,
to
yeah.
green, it's just the time to speak up.
Well,
Jessica's
person-
not
person-
I'm
yeah,
okay with
person who was
green.
opposed to it's not here,
Yeah.
so.
Green it is then?
Okay.
Thank you.
So can we,
Make a motion to approve DRB 26-1161 and DRB 24-1072 at 299 72nd Street, with the recommendation to allow the artist to select the color of the mural triangles. We voted on green, did we? Okay. That's it. We don't,
can you add about the lights?
yes, and that we consider different lights in the northeast pathway.
Bollards,
And possibly bollards in that area.
I'll also add one thing too, that
Yeah.
at the retail sections that they looking to add in
All right.
wall sconces for lights too, just to make it more enticing, like entryway for the retail spot, so wall sconce light
Yeah.
fixtures.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Wall mounted, sir.
And really, the bollards suggestion may also apply to other areas within the walkway or the runway, the track.
Yeah, I think.
So just take a look at that and see where else it may be applicable.
Is that something that we just make the note and then they work with staff on?
Yes, I think so.
No.
on addressing?
So basically consider bollards at the entry points into
Yes.
into the walkway.
Yeah.
So the wall sconces is for the
Retail
portions.
area.
I'll second that. We need a second.
Okay, we have a motion by Ms. Butagavoli, we have a second by Ms. Lewin. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No, motion passes.
All right. Congratulations. So much.
Have a good day.
Does that mean this is finally happening?
Yeah, just to confirm, FPL has not agreed to underground the wire on Harding, right? Okay.
That is out of our control. I would love to be able to do that, but.
Yeah, as discussed in the last meeting, that was a consideration at one point. It was a cost issue. It was too much to, and the system that you see now, the 14 poles that you see now that were installed, 4 years ago, that was the product of what was approved for us to proceed with, so.
And they do understand that that's a major evacuation road. Well,
We understand your.
they need to compare the cost to the income they're getting from all the properties on Miami Beach, and maybe it won't look as bad. And as many people may complain about having to deal with the city of Miami Beach permitting and building department, planning and public works and all of that, FPL does not stay behind, and neither does FDOT.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're up.
Yes, let's continue to the next item.
The next item is DRB 261167, aka DRB 22083, Tier 1 Western Marino Drive. This application has been filed requesting modifications to a previously approved design review approval for the construction of a new two-story residence, including variances to reduce the required setbacks for a roof deck that is currently under construction. Specifically, the applicant is requesting variances to further reduce the required setbacks for a roof deck, to exceed the height and openings requirements for fences, to reduce the required front yard and interior side setbacks, to allow the construction of a covered parking structure, to exceed the maximum walkway and step width, to allow wider steps in the required yards, and to reduce the required front setback and exceed the maximum width for the proposed driveway, and including one or more waivers.
Okay, so this is an application that was originally approved back in 2022. The DRB at that point approved a single-family home on this lot, including several variances and several waivers back in 2022. The applicant is now, the home is currently under construction. The applicant is wishing to make some changes to the home. And so the applicant is here before the board to ask for some additional variances and some design modifications to the design that was originally approved. Just for reference, the home is a relatively narrow lot. It's located on West San Marino Drive. The typical corner lots on San Marino Drive have a width of 60 feet. This lot has a width of 50 feet, so it is a narrow lot. It complies with the minimum size requirements, but just barely. So it's just there, and so that's the reason why they received a lot of the variances that they received back in 2022, and it's a big part of the reason as to why we're supportive of these additional variances that they're requesting. So the applicant is first requesting a waiver for the proposed fence and wall design that does not provide open pickets with minimum spacing of 3 inches above 4 feet in height. So let me describe that. So the code requires that when you are building a fence on the side yard and the rear yard, that if you're measuring that fence from the future adjusted grade, which is higher than the sidewalk elevation, by right, you can build 4 feet solid, and then above that, you have to include pickets. The code allows for the DRB to waive that requirement so they can have the fence be fully solid. In this case, the surrounding yards and the surrounding lots are being raised to the future adjusted grade. So staff is supportive of the granting of these waivers. We don't expect any negative impacts. That code provision is really when you have a new lot that is being raised higher than the older lot so that there is some greater compatibility. In this case, there are no compatibility issues. So staff is supportive of the granting of those waivers. And that's for the lot has different types of fencing and different gates that are proposed throughout. So this is for specific modules B, C, and D, and the gate on the east side of the property, and the solid wall on the north side of the property within the required rear yard and side facing a street. So staff is supportive of the granting of that waiver for all portions of the fences. Additionally, the applicant is proposing some design changes. They're proposing incorporation of wider window headers in black paint, similar to aluminum, new glass railings for the balconies to replace the previously approved black aluminum railings, the north facade with a new wall in black tile covering the previously approved open frame at the roof level, and a new 4-pane sliding glass door window configuration at the second level. Revised design also includes changes to the materials. So there was a previously approved synthetic wood cladding that will be replaced by a black tile. There's a previously approved painted gray stucco that's going to be replaced with a light gray paint similar to micro cement and oxidized micro cement. And then the previously approved painted Abbey stone stucco is to be replaced by an oxidized also by micro cement and light gray paints similar to micro cement. And then the proposed oxidized metal and galvanized wire painted in black for the fence finish. So they're changing the materials for the fences, and they'll describe that in more detail. It's a little difficult to describe the changes, but you'll see them in their presentation. As far as the variances go, the first variance that they're requesting is regarding the roof deck. The allowable habitable roof deck is required to be set back 10 feet. The applicant is proposing that a portion of that roof deck be set back 2 feet 6 inches. Given the narrowness of the lot, if they provide that full setback, there would be a the deck would be of minimal width. And this is going to be in an area that doesn't impact any surrounding neighbors, so staff is supportive of the granting of this variance. They're requesting 2 variances of the front setback and the side interior setback, and this is to be able to build a carport in the front. The code would allow them to build a carport if it's made of canvas and pipe. That obviously is not the most attractive type of carport, so they're requesting setback variances to allow for a front setback of 1 foot 6 inches and a side interior setback of 5 feet 4 inches in order to be able to provide a more modern architectural carport that will be compatible with the design and enhance the design of the home and provide some covered parking that the design of the home currently doesn't have. Given the narrowness of the lot, it's very difficult for them to be able to build a garage on the site. Then they're requesting another variance related to the width of walkways. The code allows for the maximum width of walkways to be 44 inches, and it does allow for those portions to be increased to 5 feet. In this case, the applicant is proposing to construct a walkway that has a width of 8 feet 2 inches And the width of the walkway is on the side facing a street, which is the longest facade. And so the proposed width is compatible with the design of the facade. The limit of 5 feet does present a practical difficulty to the applicant because it would require that they provide a walkway that is not consistent with the width of that facade. So staff is supportive of the granting of that variance. The next variance is related to the driveway. Given the narrowness of the lot, they would be limited to have a wideway with a maximum width of 15 feet. They are proposing a variance to allow them to increase that width at 23 feet 10 inches. And so given that they would like to have a two spaces with where the carport is located, that is a reasonable request, and staff is supportive of the granting of the variance. So they are requesting 5 variances in total. Staff is supportive of the granting of those 5 variances, and staff recommends that the application be approved, subject to the conditions in the attached order. So we can, before we turn it over, are there any disclosures?
And were you sworn in this morning?
Yes. Hello, I'm Juan Subillaga. I'm the architect of this project.
Okay.
This is.
Pilar Corredor.
I believe Pilar came after the swearing in originally.
Okay.
Right.
Or do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
I do.
Thank you.
Let me follow up on the explanation that Rogelio had. It sounds like a lot of things, but really the building is built, the house is built. It complies with setbacks on the interior, on the street side, on the front and the rear. It complies with height, it complies with lot coverage, open space, it complies with all of that. We're not asking anything related to the main zoning regulations. So we're asking for some materials are going to be changed, basically paint.
Yeah, it's just
Paint
to
color.
enhance the design.
And then the fences, we're asking to, in a portion only, which covers the side and the rear where the pool is, we're asking for the fence to be solid all the way to the 7 feet. 7 feet is the allowable height, but 3 feet is 4 solid and 3 with picket, like he explained. We're asking for that portion covering the pool to be solid. And then we're asking for the roof deck to be slightly bigger. We're talking 30 square feet bigger. I mean, nothing really.
Did you have a PowerPoint that you would like to load up just to?
Yeah.
Might make it easier for everybody to.
We submitted
We can go to page 4 to
the
start.
presentation. If they could put it, yeah, here we go. So
Can you use the laptop?
keep going, please.
Should I go here?
Yeah, you can control it.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. You can control it there?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay,
So, basically, I mean, the first thing is not really a variance, it's the change of materials. It's a revision to the previously approved DRB
design.
materials and colors. But again, the windows are the same, the house is exactly the same. We're not modifying window openings. I mean, he mentioned the window frame. Yes, the frame, but the window size is the same. We're not asking, there's no changes to the structure of the house, to the volume of the house. So,
We are in 80% of construction, so.
and the house is built, yeah, 80, it says here 75%, but it's really more like 85%. The house is practically finished.
I have the materials here, the colors, if you guys want to see it.
Yeah, if you like to review the colors, this is that tile thing. These things are heavy.
Yeah.
But,
This is gonna be like in the,
yeah, explain.
Might be best if you went through the presentation so they can see what you're referring to.
Yes.
yes. Let's go to page.
This is a nice tile.
And you have a lot of pages, so keep going through it.
Okay, for instance, this corner at the entrance is gonna have this tile.
Right.
Only the corner.
where you see the dark, obviously.
And the back, the north, ugh, how do I do this? Okay, you can see it there, the corner. And can go with this.
Down here, down. In the
Okay,
previous one.
here. This mouse is, okay. And the north side, which is on top of the second floor.
That's the master bedroom which you see looking towards the pool. So above the sliding doors of the master bedroom is where that,
And we are also changing the metal that it was before for glass in all the balconies. And we are changing the colors. That was before, and we are updating a little bit the design. And we are gonna have this, I don't know if you wanna say it there. This micro-cement, like imitating like the metal.
so basically it's different, slightly different materials, slightly different colors, nothing major.
It's the same palette, basically.
Yes.
And so we are gonna use basically these colors.
Please
with the
speak
black.
into the microphone.
Yes.
We are gonna use basically these colors and the black.
And this.
Yes. That one is very little,
Yeah.
but, yeah.
The reason I explain, I'm trying to simplify the application is because it seems like a lot of things. But it really, they're very simple things. You know, we're not, like I said, we're not altering the size of the house in any way. It's the same house.
Yeah, this is the east, where you can see the same colors that I show you.
Right.
And the fence on that side, that it has to be a little bit solid because of the house next door that is in construction as well.
We can show the construction, show the photographs of the
Maybe keep us,
estate.
maybe keep going through the different variances that you're requesting to
Okay.
complete the presentation.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, so the number one issue is not a variance, is a revision to the exterior finishes, which we just spoke about. And then there's 4 variances. There's 5 items, but 4 variances, correct? So the first variance is the rooftop deck. We want to make it 30 square feet bigger
This
than what it was before. And there you see the area that we grew. This is within the roof. We're not increasing the roof, it's just the deck.
And you can see it here that we are not like
Right.
encroaching or like bothering any neighbor because we have San Marino Drive.
Right. Then variance number 2 is the fences. Like I explained before, we like to surround the pool with solid all the way to the 7 feet, which the staff approves, and it gives more privacy for the homeowner and more privacy for the neighbors as well. Then variance number 3 is the carport that Rogelio was talking about. That is the one place where we're asking for a setback. It's a separate carport. Let's put it on the, there. So it's a metal structure, very modern in design, as you can see.
Yeah, it's more according to the design of the house.
This would be, you know, under a separate permit with the structural calculations, with everything to, because obviously there's gonna be uplift, you know, in there, so it'll be properly structured. and that's the way it looks. It's a separate structure, is separate from the house. And I think it enhances the overall design of the house. And it certainly would be a lot better than a dirty canvas full of leaves, which is what happens with canvases. And then item number 4 is the width of the stairs, of the walkway from San Marino to the house, which, like he said, is the long part of the, it's this 50 by 120, so this is the long part, this is on the 120 side.
Yeah,
And
it
the
is-
maximum allowed is 60 inches, and we have can you show the
Eight.
design of there? Yeah, so you can see in the floor plan, we have different slabs of different widths, going like that, like this, and the biggest one is 8 feet wide,
Yeah, and it's more proportional with that
but they
side
vary.
of the land.
They
because
vary
it's
from 6
very
to
long.
8 feet. Maximum width is 5 feet. But we're proposing that, and we believe it's just a better entrance,
And it's safer.
And the last thing is to be able to build the carport on the driveway. We need to have a little more width on the paved part of the driveway, which is, as you can see, you see where you see the driveway there, you see that on the bottom part of that curved area. That's an additional to the 20-foot total width allowed. We're going to 24 feet. Now, even going to the 24 feet, we're respecting the open space
Of 50%.
regulation, so we meet the open space. We're not violating any of that. We can increase to 24 feet and still comply with the open space. And basically, that's it.
Okay.
Right, that photograph shows those slabs.
Those are built as you want them.
Yes, those are built on a single beam on the center, they're cantilevered to both sides. They're open in between each slab, so the rain goes through it.
But you built it in hopes we would approve it. Just.
Well, I guess so.
That was really a contractor. I almost killed him.
If you don't, we'll have to cut them.
I can start off if you want.
We want to see, is anybody in the
Oh, yeah.
public or the waiting room?
If anybody online who'd like to speak, please raise your hand on Zoom. No hands raised. Anybody in the audience that'd like to speak? Nope. I think we can close the public hearing, if that's
Yep.
okay.
Okay, all right, take it away.
Yeah, so I commend you on the design because it is not easy on a lot of that size.
Very
of
difficult
Very
lot.
Very
difficult
challenging,
to have circulation, to have walkways, to have anything, to have the house. So I commend you for that.
Thank you.
I personally like the design very much. I do not have a problem with the color changes and the material changes, nor the railings on the balconies. I can understand that you want to cover the car from the heat that we are experiencing and that we have always experienced here. And I understand that you need to make that driveway a little bit wider in order to allow you to walk out of the car into the home. And I like that it's not reducing the amount of landscaping that's required or green space required on the property. So I personally do not have a problem, and I like the design and the selections very much.
If I could ask a question, I was just flipping through some of the approved renderings and then the new renderings. Are you changing the landscaping plan at all, or because some for example, the south view, it seems like some palms have been lost and things like that. Is that just so you can show the
It's
house and
been
the
No,
rendering?
we just wanted to
slightly.
show the house more,
Okay.
but the landscape is gonna remain the same.
Okay, because
We're
I
gonna have
do.
a lot of vegetation, which
Okay.
is nice.
Okay,
yes.
that's what I want to hear, because I feel like that house does need some
Yes,
softening with,
exactly.
with the plantings.
A lot of green.
And I just wanted to
And like,
confirm.
it was designed to like integrate the garden with the interior of
Yeah.
the house. So
Oh, excellent.
Yeah,
everything's
the
gonna come
landscaping is
inside the
key
house.
to the
Yeah.
design of the house. We want a lot of,
Okay, I just wanted to confirm
Landscape.
it was just taken out so we could see the new house. Okay, yeah, I agree. I don't really have an issue with the color changes or the material changes. Adam, I would kind of defer to you. Do you think that the painting of, that the cement painting is, you know, that's gonna hold up and look nice? I'd like the colors. I think that,
I mean,
just don't
I-
like the material quality on the.
It's painted stucco, so, or micro cement, so I think it'll have a nice texture to it. You know, obviously, black is always tough in the sun, so that the black painted areas are the ones
Yeah.
to worry about, and spalling and things like that, but they want to take the risk with it.
Yeah.
yeah.
I like the tile. I like the black tile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the tile's beautiful.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you. I'm in support. I just wanted to clarify that with the plantings.
Thank you.
I have no comment. It looks a good design, finished. The changes and finishes look great, so.
Thank you.
no comment.
Thank you.
Number 3, could you explain the issue there? Because I'm not seeing it.
Well, variance number 3 is the carport.
Carport, right.
Yeah, the city allows, and this is a very silly rule that's been here for years. They only allow a canvas cover with like little aluminum posts, and it's just, you know, terrible. So we're proposing this structure, which is very lightweight, but just more solid, stronger, and it will not decay like a canvas. A canvas in a few months, it looks terrible, you know? So, because the house needs shadow, you know, for the cars. So that's why we're proposing that structure.
Have those type of structures been used before?
I've not seen a structure of that type before. I've seen variances be issued for a more traditional carport with 4 solid columns and a roof. I've not seen one for like a prefabricated structure such as this.
Right.
But,
It'll be engineered and it'll be.
But you're in support of it?
yes, yeah, we're in support of it. The, just for background, the reason the city has that regulation that it be canvas and pipe is because in the future, if any work needs to be done in the right-of-way, we don't want permanent structures that would be difficult to demolish and repair if something needs to be done to the road.
No.
Given that this is there's a couple things here, there's a modular structure that if it's removed, it could be put back, and the actual support columns are set back pretty far beyond the right-of-way. So if work needs to happen, this type of a structure allows that to happen without too much interference. So staff was okay with the granting of this variance.
Good point, yes. Thank you.
Did you have any? You good? Yeah, it's a nice design, nice changes. I don't think there's anything that they're asking for that is ridiculous. I think the roof deck is, if you want a little angle,
Right.
Yeah,
you can get a chair there.
it is a lot of
Um,
investment
yeah.
for that little space.
The wall, you know, I know we have this conversation about retaining walls and these fence walls being different heights on different sides of the neighbors, but, you're saying the adjacent, it won't be 16 feet on one side for one neighbor or super tall on,
No, the four houses are brand new.
Yeah, and it complies with the total height, which is 7 feet above future
Adjusting grade.
grade elevation.
No. The staff report shows that there's older homes. That's what the property appraiser reflects. These are just homes that are brand new, so it hasn't been, the new dates haven't been reflected. But if you go out there, it's all being redeveloped.
it's all raised, yeah. And it's a nice fancy fence. Yeah, it's a nice project.
Thank you.
So can we approve them all at once, or it has to be individual?
The design review should be one motion to approve, and the variances be done one by one.
So I make a motion that we approve DRB, where am I? 26, 1167, I crossed it off. Okay, for design
And the waiver?
and the waiver.
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Ms. Buttergavoli, second by Ms. Lewin. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
I make a motion that we approve the variances for the roof deck, the covered parking structure front setback, the covered parking structure interior side setback, and the steps and walkway leading to the home.
And driveway.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion by Ms. Buttergavoli, second by Mr. Paez. All those, that's to approve all of the variances?
1 and 4.
1 through 4? Sorry, 1 through 5.
5. Yes, sorry.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. So that's approved. Oh, Mr. Acion has his hand raised, if you'd like to say anything.
Yeah, I'm all in favor of the variances as well. I just wanted to bring to note that, here's another situation where we're giving a variance for a roof. I want to get an update on how we're doing with that later on after the vote. Same situation with, look at the property of the multifamily on Second where they did a roof deck, and in that situation, that roof deck was very adequate for that property, which is what it should be on these homes. So hopefully we get some progress with that.
I'll just mention that we transmitted the letter to commission with the recommendations from the board. So it's up to the commission if they'd like to take that on.
So Rogelio, can you send us or Alejandro, email us a copy of that
Absolutely.
memo? Thank
Yeah,
you.
we'll forward it to you.
Is it scheduled to go to commission for reading or?
It would be up to a commissioner to sponsor an item.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Well, thank you very much.
So much. Thank you.
All right. The item is 2444 Prairie.
DRB 26, 1169, 2444 Prairie Avenue. This application has been filed requesting modifications to a previously approved design review approval for the construction of a new two-story single-family home that is currently under construction. Specifically, the applicant is requesting a variance for the sum of the side yards and to exceed the maximum width for walkways, including one or more waivers.
Okay, so this is a home that was originally approved by the DRB in March of 2022. It went to the DRB because back then it was replacing a pre-1942 home, and back then if you were replacing a pre-42 home, the replacement home had to be approved by the DRB. The home has since been constructed. The applicant is not requesting any changes to the design. The design follows what was approved by the DRB. However, once they went to measure the site, it looks like the home, the measurements were off by a fraction of an inch. So the applicant is here to request a reduction of the sum of the side yard setbacks by 0.15 feet. That's 1 13/16 of an inch. and that's for the required sum of the side yards. This is just an error in the constructions. It would be a practical difficulty, hardship to make the applicant move that by such a small amount. The impact is negligible, so staff is supportive of the granting of the variance. The other variance that is being requested is similar to the one we just had in the last application for a wider walkway. The applicant is requesting a variance to exceed by 9 feet 8 inches or 116 inches the maximum width of a walkway of 44 inches for the walkway going into the front of the home within the required front setback. Again, given the scale of the home, this makes sense for the architecture and for the design of this home, and staff is supportive of the granting of the variance. And so those are the two variances that the applicant's requesting, and staff is supportive of the granting of the two other variances, subject to the conditions in the attached order.
Thank you, Rogelio. I appreciate the introduction. Carlos Markich with all offices of Burke Alberdell, Fernandez, Larkin, and Zapanes, offices at 200 South Biscayne Boulevard. I'm joined today by Chris Pinto from Intelligent Construction, the architect Eduardo Shamash, and my colleague Mickey Marrero and Zachary Fine. This is what I think is a very simple application. If I could get the PowerPoint up, thank you. 244 Prairie, this is right across from the new Bayshore Park, which is a wonderful addition to our city. You see here, it's right across. As Rogelio noted, this project came before the DRB in 2022, I think, and got approved, and it was then got a building permit, which was approved as well, built, and inadvertently there was about an 1.5 inch deviation on the southwest wall that you'll see there, which came a little closer to that property line, which requires us to come here. The other variance, which you'll see shortly, is for the walkway. The walkway was built as approved on the master permit. It's just, it's one of those things where it does need a variance, even if it was approved at the building permit. So we also need a variance for that one as well. Kind of just rushing through it because we think it's a very simple application. This is the DRB order from 2022. Granting the original approval for the pre-42 home, the replacement of that home, and then you'll see the walkway at the front in the red box. It's wide, but it's really kind of a space for the door to come in from the fence, and kind of it doesn't ramp up, so it can't be qualified as an ADA exception for the walkways, which does exist for 5 feet, but since it is stepped. It's not an ADA accessible walkway. And then on the bottom left, you see the variance that we're requesting. It seems to be about 1.5 inches or 3 inches, depending on which survey you're looking at. So, and here again, he's on the first and second floor. It's a minimal 0.15 foot variance that we're requesting. This is the walkway in the front. Again, it's 13.4 in width, and that's it, guys. I don't want to take too much of our time. This is, in our opinion, a very simple application, but to formally request, we're requesting for these two variances for the encroachment into some of the side yard setbacks on the southwest side of the property and the walkway in the front.
Thank you.
I'll hold time for any rebuttals, so thank you.
Anybody online?
Any ex parte disclosures?
Disclosures.
Anybody online, if you'd like to speak, please raise your hand. No hands raised. Anybody in the audience?
Motion to approve, discuss?
Yeah, so, yes, I have a motion to approve DRB 26-1169, also known as DRB 21-0760 at 2444 Prairie Avenue. Do you need me to approve? Do we need to do a separate approval for the variances? No, okay.
Well, I think it's just variances.
For the two variances, okay. Okay.
Second.
We have a motion by Ms. Butakawali. We have a second by Mr. Lester. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
So Rogelio, this brings about a question as we get ready for the next item. Thank you and
Thank you.
congratulations.
That was both applications, right? Both variances?
Yes.
One vote?
Yes.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
You know, you and I talked one day about projects that come before DRB and later find themselves needing to change something which amounts to less than a percentage of the total setback or the front, the side, the back, the height, the lot coverage, the unit size, that it makes no sense to come back to this board, take up time of the owner, cost is tremendous, take up time of this board when the change is minimal and something that could be approved at staff level. However, the commission needs to approve the planning department having the authority to go with this additional percentage of change. Can you explain it better for the board, and is that something that we want to bring back to the current commission for approval?
There are some cities that authorize their staff to grant administrative variances or a waiver of a certain percentage, be it 5 or 10% of any numerical standard in the land development regulations. The city of Miami Beach, we don't have that. We have to follow the strict number of the code. We don't have the ability to grant any administrative variances or waivers or exceptions. That's something that the city commission could consider. I guess the concern would be that if we have that ability, everyone will start to ask for it. So we need to be careful how that is done. So for example, if it were going to happen, perhaps don't include anything related to unit size, but only certain things that we can consider.
A threshold level of.
Right.
Yeah, like this 1.5 inch.
To me, that's
Yeah.
like, that
Yeah.
could be staff, but
Yeah.
the
Driveway.
the stair drive, that is something that needs a variance, and even though we approve it,
Yeah.
if they go approve it, then everyone's gonna go
Right.
back and widening it,
They are,
and so, what's the
I don't know.
threshold, is it?
Maybe you all can draft something in planning when you have this time available in August, that would allow us to not put someone through this, but at the same time not encourage people
Right.
to say, oh, I'll request this additional 10% later on.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right, should we move on to?
yes.
Okay.
In Adam's absence, item DRB 26-1181, also known as file number 22840, 1 Washington Avenue. Do we have the presenters here? Okay.
This application has been filed requesting modifications to a previously approved design review approval for the replacement of existing playground equipment within the park and the construction of a new shade structure. Specifically, the applicant is requesting design review approval for the demolition of one shade structure located on the west side of the playground to accommodate new playground elements. On February 1st, 2011, the Design Review Board reviewed and approved the replacement of the existing playground within the park and the construction of a new shaded structure. The city is proposing to renovate the existing children's playground within the South Point Park. As part of the approved GEO bond program, prior to selecting a specific design proposed, the Parks, Facilities, Fleet, and Beaches Department collaborated with the residents of the surrounding neighborhood to obtain feedback. The new playground will be built within the same footprint as the existing playground. The design developed by Compan includes a large climbing structure shaped like a breathing whale, net climbers, slides, and a play tower nestled among the existing palm trees. A separate area is dedicated to swings on a soft rubber surface in aquatic shades of blue, purple, and green. The 2 existing fabric shade sails will provide canopy coverage over the central play areas, and the metal frame shaded structure located in the west side of the playground will be demolished to provide the open fall zone required for the new swing areas. Staff find the proposed new playground design compatible with the park's coastal setting and recommends approval of the application.
Thank you, Alejandro. Good morning, Mr. Chair, board members, staff. Frank Garcia on behalf of the Parks, Facilities, Fleet, and Beaches Department. The playground upgrade at South Point Park that we're speaking about was funded through the artistic playground component of the 2022 GEO Bond for Arts and Culture. The latest design incorporates feedback received from the South of Fifth Neighborhood Association's parent working group on January 5th, namely the addition of 2 additional swings for a total of 4 swings and 1 additional monkey bar structure. The specific element that requires review and approval by the board this morning, or this afternoon, I should say, is the existing shade structure, the removal of the existing shade structure on the west side of the playground. I'm going to hand it to our colleagues at Compan, Oscar and Chloe. Compan, of course, the play structures vendor, to walk you through the proposed design and address any questions you may have.
Great, thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm Chloe. I'm with Compan. I'm going to walk you guys through real quick on the South Pointe Park, just so you guys have a full vision of the new playground. I'll have my focus on this removal of the shade in the middle of my presentation. So here's enclosed site, the context.
Excuse me, closer to the...
Yes. Concept development, the playground concept comes from the ocean. The design took dolphin, shark, sea turtle, coral reefs, and other sea creatures as inspiration, created a play space for all ages. Both design, well, actually, we're down to 1 design now. This design is an eye-catcher center play piece that is 30 feet tall to draw kids into the playground. Variety of play activities will allow kids to explore the space at all abilities. The inspiration, as I said, it's all beach, ocean-related sea creatures. I'll dive into the design real quick. This is the site plan for the new playground. It will be all ages, which means 2 to 12 years old. And this is the site contest. We have the playground, we have the restroom. I think there's also a concession stand in the middle, and then on the other side is a splash pad, which will also be redone. Age group wise, we have the 5 to 12 age group towards on the east side. And then in the middle will be the 2 to 5 age group. And then on the left side is the 2 to 12 age group, which is a swing set. So this is a slide that's showing the site plan that is new playground overlaying on the existing site, which the change will be on the left side, which is the swing area. We originally only have 1 base swing, which is 2 seats. After receiving the feedback from parents in the community, they have a strong desire of more swings. So we increased the swing to a double bay, which now includes two bay, 4 seats. 2 are the baby infant seats, and then the other 2 are the regular, what we call bell seats. And therefore, we are taking out this rigid original shade structure because it is in the middle of the swing. We're taking that one out, but we are also replacing the shade with a triangular cell shades. So this is the main change of the whole site. Everything else will stay. We will also including some cell shades for the larger structure and also the 2 to 5 play area. This is the overall showing the walking path and playground circulation. And equipment-wise, we have this iconic piece for the dolphin. It is a 30 feet tall play structure for the older kids, 5 to 12-year-old. It features a big slide going down. We will have shade going over the majority of the dolphin structure and as well as the slide. And that's the 2-bay swing with 4 seats, 2 belts, and 2 infant. Some tables, seashell tables and chairs for the little kids to hang out and maybe have snacks. Some spanning item, which you see here, number 3 is the junior spica. A 2 to 5 piece, which is the shark for the little kids to enjoy. And the rocket roller is also a spanning item for the older kids. Number 3 is a seesaw, is a multi-seesaw that is for all age group, which is 2 to 12. We also received another feedback from the parent from last community meeting that they want to add a monkey bar. So the monkey bar is also an additional on top of what the swing seats that we added. And at last, I'm going to show some final rendered image. It will show you the full scope of the new playground as well as the shading. Some interior view of that dolphin. Any questions?
Thank you. That's the finish of the presentation, correct?
Right, I have some site reference, but.
Anybody?
Are there any ex parte
online?
disclosures?
None.
Anybody online, if you'd like to speak, please raise your hand. No hands raised. Anybody in the audience? No? All right. Hey.
I'll start. Incredible parks that we have in this city, second to nobody. And I'm not being territorial or biased, all the parks that we do are really just incredible. And I love this design. I get to visit all these parks with my grandchildren, and they are extremely entertaining. And the shade is, it needs to happen, because otherwise you can't stay in the park. And we have a lot of use in all of our parks. So I commend the Parks Department, and the input from the community is very important, because yes, you do need 4 swings, and you do need the monkey bars. So I'm okay as one person on this board with your design of the additional shade structure, or change to the shade structure.
Yeah, I'll second. I think Miami Beach has one of the best park systems in the country. I use it
That's right.
2 to 3 times a week, every week. So I commend the changes you made, and I think getting input from the neighborhood is very important. So I have no comments. I think it's good. It's great design change.
Great job. I mean, play is so important, and I think this is such an imaginative design, and it obviously speaks to the surroundings. So, yeah, no comments. Very much in favor. Thank you.
I'll echo what my colleagues just said, so congrats.
Yes, it's amazing. I have just had 2 quick questions. The splash pad is staying, correct?
As far as I know,
Yeah,
they are.
I couldn't, I'm sorry, guys. The splash pad my kids
That's,
use a lot, so that's why. Water is,
It's a subsequent project component, which we'll tackle, I think, in the winter months, Pilar?
Yes, it's gonna be another company that is the one who
Okay.
has expertise with the splash pad. So we are gonna renovate the surface of the splash pad and all the features that we have in the splash
I
pad.
just didn't want it to disappear. And the dolphin, the shade structure is above the dolphin, and it's been studied so that the temps inside the dolphin in the slide don't get too hot. Is it that triangle? Because it seems to be partly over. I know the tail is high. I know, again, from my kids complaining, like when they go inside of the structures, the guitar and certain things that you guys have, it can get kind of warm and same if the sun is directly shining on there. So as long as you're good with it, I don't want to.
Can
Is
we
there
bring
a
it back
shade
up,
structure?
PJ? Chloe was just scrolling through the computer here to try to bring up that.
It has a shade over it, but it's like partial. I can't tell you if that's great or not enough. So I don't even want to begin to, but I would just make sure the slide or.
Yeah, the shade, no park.
Right. I
And
totally.
hot dolphin, being in the belly of a hot dolphin is not as
Not
fun.
pleasant.
I've been in there and I've heard the complaints. That's all. These are real world complaints from 7-year-olds.
We did best we can to shade most of the structure. We left the tail open, and also the tail isn't enclosed all the way, so at the top it is allow airflow. So that will help a little bit with
The
the
flow of
air
air.
going in there as well. But yes, we did the best we can to shade the tallest, because it doesn't make sense to have a shade that's just 40 feet tall.
Right.
It doesn't really do much when the sun changes direction. So I think the more important part is to have the lower part of the structure well shaded, so the kids can play most of the time of the day.
I think it's great.
Thank you. I make a motion that we approve DRB 261181, also known as file number 22840, 1 Washington Avenue, South Point Park.
I'll second that.
Motion by Ms. Butagavoli, second by Ms. Lewin. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. It's gonna be
When
awesome.
does it open?
Yeah.
That's a Pilar question.
Oh,
This one, we are planning to start construction on spring 2027 because of the long lead time that we have for the most of the pieces, and it's going to take between 6 to 8 months for construction. So at the end of next year, we should have it open.
Mr. Racion had his hand raised, so I don't know if he wanted to make a comment on the item.
Hopefully my kids are not too.
Yeah, my comment was regarding the whale that was mentioned regarding the heat, and I don't know if it could have some gills per se that will have better ventilation.
that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Vent it.
Yeah, I'm serious. Like if there's gills
Vent the
designed, it'll have better ventilation for the whale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some screening in the.
Even though it's
the
a mammal,
gills.
maybe it's a porthole or something. Yeah. Call them out on that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I did want to mention, for just that item is before the board, we can't approve changes in playground equipment. The reason that one came before the board is because they were expanding the area of the playground and removing some of the originally approved shade structures that were approved by the DRB. So just in the future, if you see a park gets updated and has new equipment, as long as it's within that same original footprint, it might be approved administratively.
We don't
So
get
just
to
so
see it.
everybody's aware. All right, we have one item left.
Yes, DRB 261182, 905 Bay Drive.
This application has been filed requesting design review approval for an Art in Public Places, AIPP program, for a non-commercial, non-electronic artistic mural exceeding 100 square feet on an existing commercial building.
Okay, so this is in relations to an Art in Public Places program. The City of Miami Beach began the Elevate Miami Beach mural program earlier this year. And so the city has approved some murals in different parts of the city to beautify different neighborhoods. With regards to this one specifically, on April 21st, 2026, the Art in Public Places Committee selected a mural for this location. This is a grocery store that's located in North Beach on Normandy Isle that has what is currently a blank facade. And so a mural is being proposed on that facade in order to beautify it. The committee selected what is called the Flying Colors mural by artist Michelle Weinberg for the east-facing wall of the Bay Supermarket. And they didn't have other options, but that is the one that was selected by the committee. This is The code requires that non-electronic artistic murals exceeding 100 square feet require the approval of the Design Review Board, and they also require the approval of the City Commission. So after this vote, it is expected to go to the City Commission for the final approval of the mural. I can describe the mural, but it's easier just to allow the applicant to show some pictures of what it is. There is some green in it, I will warn you, but it looks.
Rogelio, when these are brought to us from Art in Public Places where they've made a selection, do they always just send to this DRB the selection they made? Or do they send also the other Art in Public Places that they looked at, that they selected from?
It's up to them if they have options available. They may send all three options or however many options there are. It's up to the committee.
This
the
is
artist.
3 different artists that they're looking for our recommendation for.
No, it's one artist that had 3 options. The one that was selected is the first one, but we wanted to provide you with the other ones in case there was a major concern with the main one that was selected.
So it wasn't a choice.
Yeah.
Okay.
It shouldn't be a
I was
choice.
contemplating.
Ideally, it's not, but we, because there was green, we wanted to make sure that
there were options.
Yes.
Were you sworn in earlier this
We
morning?
were here.
Okay,
Mhm.
all right.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Chair, board members. Frances Vallecillo, I'm the Interim Director for Tourism and Culture for the City of Miami Beach. Thank you for allowing us to present this for you, and thank you for saving the best for last. We're here, we're very excited with this project, and just wanted to clarify a couple of points. We are presenting 3 options. AIPP did make a selection. There's one artist that is the first 2 proposals, and then a second artist for the third.
Oh, I
And just to give you a little bit of insight into why we're presenting the 3, in a very rare occasion that for some reason the first one doesn't materialize, or even the second one, we wanted to present all 3 so that down the line, if something happens, we don't have to come back because of timing. So that's why, but the AIPP did select the first one. That is the one that the staff that we are proposing as well. And as you'll see through the presentation, that is also the one that the property owner would like to go with. So I'm happy to present Danielle Bender, who is our Cultural Affairs Manager, to walk you through the presentation, and we're here to answer any questions.
Thank you, and I think we should have a presentation being queued up. Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to give a little context on how this mural came to be. Elevate Española program has presented 7 successful installations since the initiative began in 2022, with the aim of enhancing the Española Way East Corridor and encouraging pedestrian connectivity to Ocean Drive. So go to the first slide. You just press the arrow. No, I think the incorrect proposal is on it. It should have a black cover slide. Yep, that one. Perfect, thank you. So following the success of the program, you can see this is one of the murals that was up. And as approved at the February 17th, 2026 Art in Public Places Committee meeting, communicated via LTC 059-2026, the mural Sundial Spectrum by Jen Stark was adopted as part of the AIPP collection. At the March 17th, 2026 AIPP committee meeting and communicated via LTC 118-2026, the Elevate Española program was expanded to a citywide mural program, with the new proposed location to be sited on the exterior wall of Bay Supermarket, utilizing a limited entry competition with 4 artists in consideration to develop proposals. So, as Rogelio mentioned, at the April 21st, 2026 AIPP committee meeting and communicated via LTC 166-2026, the committee reviewed proposals from the 3 artists and selected Flying Colors by Michelle Weinberg. The selected artist, Michelle Weinberg, is a multidisciplinary artist whose vibrant, pattern-driven works blend painting, design, and architecture to transform everyday spaces into playful, immersive visual narratives. She's created dozens of public art installations worldwide, including several in South Florida, specifically in Miami Beach as well. And for context, we're going to share a couple of those projects so you're better acquainted with her work. First up is her work Tropic Episodes, which greets travelers at Miami International Airport with vibrant colors and patterns inspired by Miami's tropical landscape and urban energy. It featured 34 panels spanning 240 linear feet throughout the airport's moving walkways, and also utilized augmented reality components for visitors to engage with. The next slide features River Semaphore, which was commissioned by Battery Park City Authority and New York City Parks, curated by ArtBridge. And this work, which was completed in 2024, is a digital print on vinyl standing at 8 feet tall and spanning 700 linear feet. And then headed back to South Florida, Michelle's intricate pattern overlay was a temporary mural featured on Miami Beach cultural anchor, the Wolfsonian FIU. The proprietary Dazzle camouflage mural was installed in conjunction with the museum's exhibit on World War I and visual culture. So she drew creative inspiration from dazzle painting. It's a form of high contrast geometric camouflage used on ships during World War I to mislead enemy optics. As you can see from these few examples, Michelle is known for translating her playful, pattern-driven visual language into ambitious, large-scale artworks, seamlessly integrating color and geometry into the architecture of the public spaces she transforms. So back to the accepted proposal. Again, as mentioned earlier, it was at our April 21st, 2026 AIPP meeting. Her proposal, Flying Colors, was selected for the Elevate Miami Beach mural project as our first choice. On May 5th, 2026, our Tourism and Culture Department staff met with the Bay Supermarket property owner to present the artist proposals. The property owners confirmed support for this selection of Flying Colors by Michelle Weinberg. The mural, measuring 20 feet wide and, 20 feet tall and 45 feet wide, translates the joy of pure color and shape, inspired by painted strips dropped in chance arrangements on the artist's studio floor, and it suggests a game played on an architectural scale. It's also worth noting that the Art and Public Places Committee selected an alternative proposal, also submitted by Michelle Weinberg, titled Community Table. Should the Flying Colors proposal be rejected by the Design Review Board, the committee is recommending Michelle Weinberg's Community Table. It channels the relaxed and positive energy of resident families and visitors who gather in the Normandy neighborhood for meals, gelato, shopping, festivals, music, and more. And for the board's consideration, the artist has also said that she's open to feedback and shifts of color on either of her proposals, so no one is married to the color green if they don't like it. So just sharing. In the rare case that neither of the first two proposals are able to come to life during the installation process, the staff is also presenting a second alternate for review, which is We Are Nice and Easy. But again, confirming that the Art and Public Places Committee has selected the Flying Colors proposal by Michelle with Community Table as their alternate. So should the Design Review Board provide a favorable recommendation, Flying Colors would go before the Mayor and City Commission to execute a professional service agreement. And if approved at Commission, the work would be projected for completion in fall 2026 with an opening hopefully for Art Week. So as mentioned, we're just presenting the two alternative proposals for approval of appropriateness in the case unforeseen circumstances prevent us from moving forward with the AIPP recommended proposal, Flying Colors.
Thank you. I don't, do we need disclosures? I've forgotten it all day. So anybody have any disclosures?
It's okay, we've been asking.
None? Okay. Should open the public hearing. If you're online and you'd like to speak, please raise your hand. I don't see anybody with their hand raised.
Andres?
Andres is your hand.
Andres is there, his hand is not raised. So, anybody in the audience that would like to speak? No? I guess we can close the public hearing.
Okay. Open it up to the board.
As a former Art and Public Places board member myself, thank you for your service. Thank you for everything you do. The only thing I like the design is that it needs a little more bright colors, like a yellow or orange. Other than that, I'm okay with. And thank you for picking that spot, especially North Beach, which is like the forgotten stepchild of Miami Beach. So I'm glad to see that work is being done in that area as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, let's second. I used to actually live in that neighborhood and frequent that supermarket, so I'm familiar with that particular store. And I do think it's a great addition, but only question is there a way, or I guess it's a new cost to the owner, but to add lighting to the mural at night so it could be more viewed while passing at night, at nighttime, or that
That's a great
additional
idea.
cost to the owner? That would be,
The city will be entering in a letter of understanding with the property. They're just responsible to help prime the
Okay.
wall, but the city would take on implementing the artwork and maintaining it.
could the city look into doing like a LED or some type of lighting that could, so you could see the mural at night, more at night?
We could look into that for sure.
Yeah.
No.
So, thank you.
So, I'll speak. I like the mural. I think it has a lot of color as it is. I wouldn't add more color. I do like the idea of the lighting at night. I think it would be just a real statement at night. Maybe lighting coming down from the roof of the buildings, shining down. And only one other comment. Thank you for your, all of bringing the art in public places out. We've been collecting it from all the different projects, their percentage contributions, but now we finally see it. So that's a great thing. I will say, I think the stepchild of Miami Beach is not North Beach, knowing what they've spent on North Beach. I would say it's more of Mid-Beach. They don't forget us when they want to collect property tax and all other service fees, but they do forget us when it comes time to give. So that's my comment.
We like art in Mid-Beach too.
So thank you. Do we need a motion for this? Okay.
Yes,
So
we
I'm-
need a motion in a second.
Make a motion that we pass DRB 26-1182, 905 Bay Drive.
And that's with the staff recommended mural.
Flying colors.
Yes, flying colors, and with the recommendation to incorporate lighting into the project,
Okay.
if possible.
Add lighting.
LED light is now inexpensive for Bay
Or even like a-
supermarket to maintain.
Like gooseneck type light.
Explore
or
LED.
It can, they stick them out. on the-
Just little
Yeah.
goosenecks that can come out.
I think that's a great addition to that area.
Yes, yeah.
So I'll second that.
Okay, motion by Ms. Butaroli, second by Mr. Paz, and that's with adding a recommendation to explore adding lighting. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.
And we do green, we're not opposed to green. It was just a suggest, it was just an issue, yeah, we approved a whole building of green.
Today we changed our mind and we went back to green.
I only see one little section. Yeah, I don't want us to be as the anti-green board here.
It's bright, for sure.
Thank you very much.
We have a person sitting in the back. Did we miss an item? Did we? No? Okay.
No, I'm just a visitor.
Oh, okay. Don't write anything bad about it.
Yes, but before 1 o'clock. Amazing. Are there any other discussion items or reports?
We have no other items to discuss?
And we took care of, we said September 11th is the new,
Next meeting will be
date?
September 11th, yes.
then meeting adjourned?
Yep. All right.
And our lunch is back here.